On a night where Lipscomb Academy brings past and present together, the Mustangs take the field for the second time in the 2025 season, hoping to bounce back after a tough loss at home versus Macaulay a week ago. To do that, they'll have to take down the Raptors of Ravenwood, who come off of a statement win in Mississippi last week and look to take down yet another tough foe on their schedule, only this time in the Music City. We've got two of the top programs in Middle Tennessee facing off for the first time ever. It's Ravenwood versus Lipscomb Academy, Raptors versus Mustangs, and we'll have it all for you right here live on the Lipscomb Academy Football YouTube channel. You're looking live at the Reese Smith Athletic Complex here in Nashville. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Brandon Bigsby, alongside my broadcast partner, Gideon Carter. Gideon, the Mustangs, a tough loss last week against Macaulay, a 56-20 result. Yet again, however, the back-to-back state champs for a reason, a big opportunity for them to bounce back here against the Raptors here tonight.
Exactly. You have a wonderful opportunity ahead of you here if you're the Mustangs. So much presence on this team, and they're really hungry for a win after that loss last week. I know it wasn't the greatest showing for the Mustangs, but like I said, they're definitely ready to come back and get a win here at home.
The Mustangs being such a young team, 42 underclassmen on this roster. We saw that week one performance, a good opportunity to get some of the jitters out. You're playing a top-end team. The big question, however, for this group, what does that next step look like? What did they learn from that week one performance, and how big of an improvement do we see from them against a tough Ravenwood team here in week 2 of the season?
I mean, I see this game. You really got to focus on that offensive line and keeping J.C. White not mobile necessarily. He did very well in the pocket, and outside of it last game, ran all the way across the field many times and made many great plays. But again, I mean, when you're running around and you're tired, you're not going to make the best throws. And we saw an interception last week, and I really just think if we can keep him inside the pocket, if that offensive line can hold just for maybe a couple seconds longer, it'll lead to a lot more offense here.
You talked about J.C. White, his first start as a Mustang last week, had some highs and lows. You look at the final stats for him a week ago, 28 for 51 passing, 364 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He only ran officially for 8 yards on 2 carries, but if you counted all the scrambling in the backfield,
right,
that probably would have felt more like 800. But nevertheless, you saw some of the positives from the Mustangs offense, and not only that, but they also did not give up a sack. So despite the tough loss, still some positive things this offense has to feel good about coming up in this tough game.
And we saw some great wide receiver performances from both Dante Fowler and Cam Blivens. Both of them had at least one touchdown reception in clutch time, mind you, and played great. I believe Cam Blivens was somewhere around 200 yards. Is that correct, Brandon?
Yeah, 200 yards, and he also was a candidate for the Offensive Player of the Week by the Tennesseans. So a performance that not only was held in high regard in the building, but also in the Nashville area in general.
And 200 yards as a wide receiver, and your team only scoring 20 points, not very common. You don't see that very common. So going into this game, Lipscomb looking to finish off their drives with 7 points more often and get a dub here.
You turn things over to the other side, the adversary in Ravenwood, 13-1 a season ago, that lone loss coming in the state semifinals against Houston. This is the Ravenwood team coming in with loads of momentum, went all the way down to Mississippi a week ago, faced off against Madison Ridgeland Academy. That was a team that made it to the state semifinals in their region in Mississippi last season, came back from a 17-point second quarter deficit to win that game 28-24. A state title is the goal for this team. They're looking for their first since 2015. If you want to make a statement, knock off a program like Lipscomb Academy. That is going to be the goal for them tonight.
Definitely. And as I was talking about, if you were here on the broadcast with us against Macaulay, I mentioned they had somewhere around 25 seniors, and I said that was a lot. This is a Ravenwood program with not 20, not 30, but 42 seniors. How does that affect like the gameplay and what maturity level does this bring to this game?
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a really fun storyline to watch out for throughout our broadcast. You have the ultra-experienced Ravenwood team, 42 seniors, as you mentioned. While you flip over to the Lipscomb Academy side, it's the complete inverse of that, 42 underclassmen on the roster. So you're looking at opposites here facing off against one another. It's going to be really interesting to see how this Mustang squad handles a Ravenwood team that's been through pretty much any and all situations, not just in games, but together as a unit.
Yeah, and not just a great learning opportunity here, but a great opportunity to do something incredible for the Lipscomb team. If you can knock off this Ravenwood team, man, will you have some momentum going into next week.
Speaking of this Ravenwood team, they run one of the most unique offenses in the state of Tennessee, a two-quarterback system that is fronted by two Division I commits, the first being Femi Babalola, the quarterback committed to Boston College, and the other being Maverick Chance, the Navy commit. Last week, it was Babalola who led the charge. He combined for 412 yards rushing and passing, had 2 touchdowns as well in the comeback win. Maverick Chance a season ago threw for over 600 yards with 6 passing touchdowns, while rushing for over 900 yards and 19 touchdowns. It is such a versatile Raptors offense. Jamie Graham and this Mustangs defense are going to have their hands full in that backfield tonight.
Yeah, if you're a DB right now, you definitely want to be prepared to have your head on a swivel. Did you say 968 yards?
900 plus
for
yards.
For a QB? That is outrageous.
And it's something that head coach Rodriguez for Ravenwood has talked about, how that gives them such an advantage. He's said on record in an interview that if the roles reverse, he thinks Chance could be a 2,500-yard passer and Babalola could be a 2,500-yard rusher. Just kind of happens that the way things are within that Ravenwood system. Babalola, more of the pocket-passing quarterback who's been challenged to use his legs more. Well, you have Maverick Chance, who's in that backfield, can take some snaps, can take on the run, but look out because he'll throw it over your head if you aren't looking too much. But nevertheless, we turn things back over to Lipscomb Academy. We talked a bit about this Ravenwood side, the versatile offense, the over-experience throughout this lineup. For this Mustangs team, Gideon, I got to ask you, what do you feel like is going to be important for Lipscomb Academy to hit on tonight if they want to take this win here in week 2?
I mean, like I said earlier, that offensive line, a little bit shaky. A lot of younger dudes, of course, on the line. As you mentioned, this Mustang team this season is a little bit on the younger side. That's okay. They've been watching film this past week and hopefully can correct some of their mistakes and come out better this week and really hold the pocket for J.C. White so we can get some of those completions. As far as defense goes, we saw a little bit of greatness, I'd say, on the double-sided player of Cam Blivens with an interception, obviously, last week. If we can see the glimpses of a great defense that we saw against Macaulay more often in this game, I mean, it'll be a game to watch, and it'll be something beautiful.
Yeah, it's been a big week for Cam Blivens as well. We mentioned his performance last week, had 8 receptions, over 200 yards, as well as that touchdown at the end of the second quarter. Also picked up an interception and 3 tackles. Not only that, but it was announced today that he has been voted the top offensive player of the year prospect by the Tennesseans. So you're not just talking about a big-time player for Lipscomb Academy. You're not just talking about a big-time player in the AAA region. You're talking about one of the most dynamic players in the state of Tennessee in number 7, Cam Blivens.
You are, and the glimpses of possible NFL talent we saw in him last week. He was jumping over people, making catches, like I said, making interceptions. I don't know how you have the endurance for that, playing both sides in a skill position like that where it's basically running the whole time. But what a wonderful honor that is to be up for an award like that, especially here in the state of Tennessee where we have such great high school football. Man, what a player.
Yeah, and he wasn't the only receiver that stepped up. How about the young wideout, Kobe Grigsby? He had 8 catches a week ago. Didn't even play the entirety of that game. Left in the third quarter due to an injury. He could be someone to look out for tonight as well. We've talked about so often this young Mustangs team. Who's going to be able to step up and fill some of those spots as these players continue to graduate and move on from those championship teams of the last couple of years. Kobe Grigsby, he was an X factor for this Mustangs offense a week ago. What could he potentially do as an encore performance here today?
I saw some great stuff for him last week. Whenever he was on the field, he was making plays. Something I want to see from him this week. Obviously, last week we saw some jet sweeps ran by Lipscomb. He got the ball on those. He just wasn't able to turn the corner quite and get to that edge and get those yards he wanted. If he can do that this week, Lipscomb's going to have a heyday.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if he can as the Mustangs make their way out onto the field. We are just 7 minutes away from kickoff. Lipscomb Academy once again facing off against the Ravenwood Raptors. The first time these two programs have ever met up in a one-on-one football matchup. They've met in volleyball, they've met in basketball, they've met in baseball, softball, but this is the first time these two have met on the gridiron. Really surprising. These have been two of the best programs in the national area over the last decade plus. Going to be really fun to see this marquee matchup right here in person and live.
Yeah, definitely. And another player I'd like to mention, well, actually, we're going to cut the prayer right now.
As maybe not just as the Ravenwood Raptors make their way out on the field. Gideon, go ahead and get your point in, man. I want to know what you have to say. You can't leave us hanging like that, man.
I was going to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the rock, the tank, Z Crockett. He did a great job behind the line in the backfield, just blocking, doing whatever he could, just getting up the middle, getting those yards against that tough McCallie defense. He did a great job, and I'm sure he can do a little bit better this week.
Yeah, his brother Manoa had 5 catches last week as well. So the Crockett Bros, a nice varsity debut together. I know they have been looking forward to getting a full season together for a long time, getting to live that out this season with Z being a senior, Manoa entering his junior year. We'll have the prayer, the national anthem, and then the coin toss. And after that, folks, kickoff here for week 2. Brandon Bigsby with Gideon Carter with you on the call. We thank you all for joining us and allowing us to spend your Friday evening with you. Don't go away. We'll be right back with kickoff between Ravenwood and Lipscomb Academy in just a few minutes.
Tonight for their lasting impact on our football tradition. Fans, we would ask that you would please rise for a word of prayer led by head of school Dr. Brad Schultz and remain standing for the playing of our country's national anthem led by a Lipscomb Academy quartet of senior chorus members, Brooklyn Dillingham, Keely Coles, Holden Carbine, and Jake Thompson.
All right, we are back. We thank you for sticking with us as we are just a couple of minutes away from kickoff here at the Reese Smith Athletic Complex. Gideon, once again, going to be really fun to see this Mustangs team. We often see teams continue to improve and grow throughout the season, but we've talked about it, especially during our coverage last week. A young Mustangs team is going to continue to grow, continue to develop. You feel like one of the biggest jumps you see midseason is from that first game. The Mustangs going to be hoping for that tonight, especially after that tough loss a week ago.
Yeah, 100% here. As we have our captains here, J.C. White, Beck Woodside. We also have their number 55, Kobe Collins, and Z Crockett.
Those being the four captains on the Mustang side, and you're noticing a lot of the experience on that side of the Mustangs. Z Crockett, J.C. White, Beck Woodside, all being seniors. You mentioned Kobe Collins, a big defensive lineman, another senior on that Mustang side. And, outside J.C. White, that group, they have seen all of the highs and lows for this Mustangs program. They've been a part of that most recent state championship in 2022. They have been a part of comebacks. They've been a part of heartbreaks. They have seen everything as a Mustang. And again, no surprise to see those four selected as captain. J.C. White coming in and immediately establishing himself as a leader at quarterback as well.
Yeah, that right there is the pumping heart of Lipscomb Academy football. They know what they're doing. They are the maturity of this team. They are the leaders, and rightfully so. They are the captains for this game.
As Ravenwood will get their choice between heads or tails as we get the official word from the officials. As the Mustangs will elect to receive, they'll get the ball first. So we will see J.C. White in that Lipscomb Academy offense start things out here tonight.
I'm excited.
I don't think you're the only one, man. We've got a nice crowd here in Nashville. Beautiful weather outside as well. Just a little bit over 85 degrees. Partly cloudy. 7-mile-per-hour winds to the north-northeast. And we've got 0% chance of rain here tonight as well. Nothing but clear skies. Beautiful night for football. We've been waiting for this time of year, man, and we've finally gotten here. Another week, another great game on our hands. It's going to be fun to call it here with you in the booth.
Likewise, it is very pretty sunset here, very blue, and man, these clouds are also beautiful as well.
They call it the golden hour for a reason. The stable gang is packed down there in the student section. Nice crowd on hand here at the Reese Smith Athletic Complex. Once again, the Mustangs will be receiving, kicking this one off for Ravenwood will be Carlos Guerra. While back to receive for Lipscomb Academy, it'll be Trip Naaman alongside Dante Fowler, who returned a pair of kickoffs a week ago for the Mustangs.
First time I believe we've seen Trip Naaman back to return a kick.
And remember, we saw Trip Naaman a year ago return one on a blocked field goal for 71 yards, so he has some speed on him. Look out for him if he's able to get that one deep. As the senior Carlos Guerra sets this up at the left hash, Fowler and Naaman awaited.
Very tight kickoff formation here for Ravenwood.
As we are underway, week number 2, Ravenwood versus Lipscomb Academy. And back to return it's in the end zone is Dante Fowler, who will take it for a touchback. J.C. White and the Mustangs offense will kick things off tonight at the 20-yard line. We talked about J.C. White. He threw the ball 51 times a week ago. He was a very busy man. Threw for 364 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions against McCauley.
Yeah, some great positive there and a couple negatives, but that's okay. We're gonna look to see if he can build on those positives. 51 passes, that's a lot on your shoulder. And let's see how he recovered over this past week. See if he can come back and throw some darts here.
Mustangs have a bunch wide receivers set to the right side. One wide receiver out to the left. White going to hand this one off to Z Crockett. He's met at the line of scrimmage, and well behind it, there was a cavalry of Raptors starting out with the senior linebacker, Matt Anderson. Second down and long coming up here. Sam Rohan was also there. They'll mark it down officially as a loss of 1 for Z Crockett, so second down and 11 coming up at the 19.
Looks like we're going to have Dante Fowler come in.
And the run game for Lipscomb Academy was a little bit of a struggle at times last week. They were solid on the rushing game a season ago, averaged over 136 yards. As J.C. White on the quarterback keeper evades a tackler up the right side. J.C. White up the sideline. J.C. White to the 40. He's got a block and he's met from behind past the 35. J.C. White shows off the wheels for a Lipscomb Academy first down.
Wow, that was amazing. He got to that edge so quickly after he ran straight up the middle there.
And J.C. White's a little bit slow getting up here. And that is not what the Mustangs want to see. Their senior quarterback, the transfer from Brentwood, a little bit sluggish here. As it looks like the training staff will go and check on him. That was a run all the way from Lipscomb Academy's own 19-yard line. They marked him down to the 33.
Yeah.
So officially, I mean, that's about a 54, 55-yard gain there from J.C. White, but shaking up on that play and getting some attention here from the medical staff.
Yeah, if you saw, he got basically fallen on by a larger defender mid-sprint. Many things can get caught under and twisted in that. We see he's walking right now. That's great.
Great to see there, J.C. White getting up under his own power. Wasn't down all the way, but was kind of kneeled over a little bit, laboring as he's walking off the field right now. And this makes things interesting because remember, J.C. White, he came into the program right around late June, early July. Originally, it was going to be the wide receiver Cam Blivens that was going to line up and play at the quarterback position. He was taking snaps. He was prepared for it. And it looks like he is going to more than likely be the signal caller here as he is in the backfield with Manoah Crockett. And how much, if at all, does this change the play calling here for the Mustangs offense? First down and 10 at Ravenwood's 33. Blivens on the QB keeper evades a tackler and is wrapped up around the ankles at the 30-yard line.
And a good little stiff arm over there with that left arm, able to get that 3-yard gain.
And not a long stay on the sideline for J.C. White. He comes back out. That is great news there for Lipscomb Academy. Cam Chaffin will trot his way off.
Yeah, great news to see there after the first play or second play of the game. Definitely don't want to lose your quarterback. That would completely derail the whole game plan. But J.C. White, tough guy.
Second and 7 from the 30-yard line. Mustangs have 6 seconds to go on the play clock. White back to throw. Tries to rifle one down the middle of the field, but it's batted down by the defensive front of Ravenwood. Third down and 7 now coming up. Now it was Lucas McCall that deflected that one for the Raptors.
JC made a good decision there. Throwing that ball, don't want to take contact after you've been shaken up like that. Want to settle back into the game. Here is the first third and long we'll see from this Lipscomb Academy Mustang offense.
3rd and 7, ball at the 30. A field goal from here would be 47 yards. So Lipscomb Academy going to at least look to push the ball forward a little bit here. White scrambles left, looking downfield. Shucks one towards left sideline, finds a man. First down and more, evades one defender, and is brought down at the 15-yard line. That's the sophomore wideout, Jackson Spencer.
What a throw by J.C. White going against the grain with his arm there and making a perfect dart right to Jackson Spencer. And how about him making that little juke there to get those few extra yards?
Another Mustangs first down. They're now in the red zone. Ball marked at the 16-yard line, a 17-yard play. So far, J.C. White in this offense looking sharp. Lipscomb Academy 2 for 3 in the red zone last week. That one missed trip was an interception in the red zone. Or in the end zone, rather, excuse me. White hands it off to Manoah Crockett. He is met behind the line of scrimmage. That is Danny Brown, the senior linebacker, on the tackle.
And Manoah, oh my goodness, he almost threw that man off of him. Danny Brown's a big dude, and Manoah almost got through him. He just barely got tackled there.
Yeah, Danny Brown, 6'2", 230 pounds, the Samford commit coming off the edge there. making that wrap-up tackle for loss to make it 2nd and 13, a loss of 3. Trips to the right side for Lipscomb Academy. Cam Blivens, lone wide receiver, out to the left side on the bottom of your screen. Hand off to Crockett. Has some room up the right side. Doesn't have a lot of blocking, however. Gets maybe about a yard. He's met it around the 19-yard line. So a 3rd down and long going to come up here for the Mustangs. They'll officially mark it as no gain.
Crockett not really seeing the blocks here early, but he's definitely working through that contact well. And if he can just get those blocks, he can have some few explosive runs here.
Fouls the middle linebacker once again, Matthew Anderson on the tackle. He was one of the most productive junior linebackers in the state last season, had 111 tackles, 19 of them for loss. He's also a 2-time all-region selection, so number 9, someone to look out for. 3rd down here. White under pressure, gets that ball out of his hands before a sack. Danny Brown was the man that started the pressure. He had some help from number 85.
Looks like a flag's going to be thrown. Possible intentional grounding here.
And sudden gutting. And you see J.C. White, he's making his case saying that he threw it towards the receiver in the area. Officials are discussing it, and yeah, they're going to say that's intentional grounding. And that's a big call because that's a loss of down as well as the yardage. The Mustangs were on the 19. Would have been a 36-yard field goal from there. That's going to back them up even further, as they're going to officially mark it at around the 30. They're still going.
Wow.
Looked like they were going to stop at the 34, but the man with the chains is going back even further. They're going to mark him down at the 40-yard line. So we go from 4th and 13 to now 4th and 27, and Jamie Graham's going for this one.
Who am I to question the coach, as we saw last week?
They've got to get to the 6 to keep this drive alive. White steps up, looking, just tries to dump that off the Crockett. Incomplete pass and a turnover on downs. So the early momentum that the Mustangs offense had is stopped to a screeching halt. Ravenwood gets a 4th down stop. And the Mustangs come up empty-handed after looking sure to get some points on the board to start out.
Yeah, and we see the unfortunity of all the flags there, or specifically that one. Just that is a flag that you cannot take, and honestly a flag that sometimes and at times like those are hard to prevent. Definitely if you're J.C. White, don't want to take the full contact there, and the loss of yardage, and just ended up on the wrong side of that play.
So we'll get to see the Ravenwood offense for the first time. A quick handoff to the tailback, Caden Pace. The quarterback to start things out for Ravenwood, Femi Babalola. We talked about him earlier. Boston College commit, 6'4", 210 signal caller. One of the state's most highly touted QB. He was a Dandy Dozen selection, a nominee for the top offensive player of the year. As Babalola tries to strike
Almost
one deep,
off.
but a nice tip from Trip Naiman to disrupt that play.
Great play there from Trip Naiman, senior on this defense. Arguably one of the best, if not the best, defensive back on this team.
Pass intended for the senior wide receiver, Taylon Vaughn, and just like that, it's 3rd down coming up here for the Raptors. We talked about Babalola. He completed 57 of his passes in 2024, 1,152 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. He's back to throw now. Clean pocket, finds a man down the middle of the field right at the 50-yard line. That's Cruz Kelly, who will move the sticks for a Ravenwood 1st down.
Yeah, and Babalola probably the quarterback we're going to see more of this game. I believe Maverick Chance had a slight hand injury prior to this game. Here we go.
Babalola handing it off the Pace, evades one tackler but cannot get past the second. That is number 9, Harris Fisher, the junior linebacker on the play.
And how about that play from Harris Fisher, the penetration of the defensive line and the linebackers there. But don't forget, you saw Beck Woodside come in there with the initial contact, slowing him down in the backfield.
Harris Fisher, the Mustangs player of the week on defense for week 1. He had 4 tackles in that game versus McCauley, 2nd and 11. Handoff again, the Pace, gets past the line of scrimmage, but is tripped up just a little bit beyond that, as I believe that was Z Crockett that got his hand on the ankles first. And indeed it was Z Crockett. He's been playing some defensive snaps this season. First time we've seen that from him, but had a few tackles last week. 3rd down and 9 coming up for Ravenwood. Ball on the 48-yard line. 6:14 to go here in the first quarter. 2 wide receivers out to each side.
It's a big play.
Let's see what they can do with it here. As Babalola looks over to the sideline for instructions. Fakes the handoff. Babalola fires one towards the right sideline. Has his man. That's Cruz Kelly. Jukes to the left side. He's still going and is tripped up at the 23-yard line. A 25-yard play for the Raptors moves the chains once again.
Kelly just barely sneaking in right behind those linebackers, finding a pocket and finding a space to run there.
And this is a Ravenwood team that lost a lot of production in the receiver room last season. We talked about all of the seniors that they have. The most inexperienced group is that receiving room. How about this? They returned just one receiver last season that had at least 10 catches, and that's Cy Longley. As Babalola looking to throw under duress from Fisher, scrambles left, finds a man on a dump-off play. That is Talon Vaughn. And Babalola turning nothing into something there, a gain of maybe about half a yard. So 2nd down coming up.
Some great elusivity there by him, making sure he has the ball. He actually lifted it over to the defender and turned away and then turned back, as we saw J.C. White do the same on the drive earlier.
Head coach Richard Rodriguez said he challenged Babalola to use his feet a little bit more this season as a handoff to Caden Pace. Gets a few yards, knocking on the door of the red zone. They'll mark him down officially at the 19.5. So 3rd down once again coming up here for Ravenwood. They're 2 for 2 on 3rd down so far in this drive.
Mustangs only put 3 on the line last 3rd down. We'll see how much pressure they put up there this time.
2 wideouts to the left, a bunch set towards the right side as well. Pace to the left side of Babalola in the backfield. Oh, it's a missed snap! Who got it?
Oh, boy.
Waiting on a signal. Mustangs think they have it, and yes, they do. It's a turnover, and it's Z Crockett who got to it.
Who else? Z Crockett, what a huge play there. And, man, that is a big momentum shifter for the Mustangs in this game.
A misguided pitch for Caden Pace from Femi Babalola finds its way into the Mustangs' hands, and the tailback who is used to holding on to that ball, Z Crockett, the man to find it and recover it for Lipscomb Academy.
Yeah, and we saw the reverse of that a game ago, a bobbled snap. Z Crockett did fall on that one, and just the complete opposite. He just finds himself on the defensive side of the ball.
So a botched play for Ravenwood turns into a turnover and gives the Mustangs their 2nd possession of this game. 4:40 to go here in the first quarter. Both teams denied in the red zone on their first possession.
3 stacked out left.
White pitches it out to Manoa Crockett. He's met behind the line. That's Anderson, the linebacker, once again on the play.
The Mustangs just can't quite get those outside blocks to hold, and that speed option is going to result in a loss.
Matt Anderson, the middle linebacker, he mentioned it, 2-time all-region selection. He's also a 3-time state finalist in wrestling, showing some of that ability tackling right there. He's got about 4 tackles in this first quarter already.
Yeah. Wrestling, you really get the idea how to get around a body as he does there, and he gets that tackle.
2nd down and 13. That was a loss of 3 for the Mustangs on that play. White scrambling right. Evades a defender. Tries to find one deep to Blivens. It is caught nearly by Blivens, but he couldn't survive the ground. Incomplete.
He pulled that one in. If he could hold it through the contact and through the hands of the DB.
You get a look at the replay there. Blivens had it all the way until he hit the ground.
How about the throw from J.C. White? What was that, like 40 yards on the run, too, and that kind of accuracy? That is astronomically crazy.
And we saw J.C. White show a little bit of that improvisation last week, kind of Russell Wilson-esque, willing to throw that moon ball while on the run. Maybe, if you're a Vandy fan, some Diego Pavia in him. That's something that he has shown the ability to do, and you saw it flash right there. 3rd and 13 now coming up for the Mustangs. 3 wide receivers set to the left. A flag thrown, however, on the right sideline. As you mentioned, again, a false start at the line of scrimmage. That's going to push Lipscomb Academy back 5 yards. So from 3rd and 13 to 3rd and 18 now, Mustangs have to get it all the way to the 29-yard line to keep this drive alive, barring a Ravenwood penalty that will move the sticks.
It's a big 5 yards on 3rd and long.
White back to pass, steps up in the pocket. Heaves one deep for Blivens. He falls. Mustangs looking for the flag. They're not going to get it, so an incomplete pass. And the Mustangs going to have to punt this one away.
And again, we're seeing the glimpses. I mean, if this Mustang team can just get their consistency going, they could be unstoppable here.
So Tyler Guinness out to boot this one away. He was a busy man last week against McCauley. Had 5 total punts in that game. First time we'll see him in action here tonight.
And a great punter he is. I believe he averaged around 45 yards per attempt.
Gavin Macias back to return this for Ravenwood, the 5'10", 160-pound junior wide receiver. As Guinness, a high pooch punt, not a lot of distance on it. He had a lot of pressure on him. Does get a friendly roll as it'll finally make itself stop at the 49-yard line of Lipscomb Academy. So it could have been worse there for Guinness, and hard to blame him. He had a couple of Ravenwood defenders breathing down his neck. Was really just trying to get that off to avoid a potential safety or even worse, a touchdown.
Yeah, he punts that straight up and forward. That's getting blocked. So some great awareness by him, getting it to the side, and not only that, but putting that roll on it. I believe that landed at around the 30 or the 25 and rolled like 20 yards. That is a great job from him. What a great punter we have.
And that punt was from the 11-yard line initially, so, I mean, that had a pretty good distance on it overall. So Tyler Guinness got to feel good considering the situation. Second possession of the game for Ravenwood. We'll start out with a run down the middle. That's to the tailback of Caden Pace, who will be met at around the line of scrimmage. Got a yard on that one, so 2nd and 9 now coming up.
Mustangs, massive improvement on the defensive line in that middle. Able to close it up this game so far here. We did not see much of that in McCauley.
Jacob Christ on the tackle there.
Again.
Another run. And he is wrapped up by Z Crockett. That was actually Max Hickey who ran that one up the gut. But Z Crockett, Johnny on the spot, and he's letting them know it.
Brick wall so far, this defensive line. Nothing's getting through. And like I mentioned, just the complete opposite from what we saw last week in McCauley. Love to see it.
2-yard loss on that play. 3rd down, 11 now from the 50 coming up. Babalola to pass. Strikes one down the middle of the field. Finds his man Cruz Kelly at around the 40, but he looks short. Had to get to the 39-yard line. He is short of the first. And Richard Rodriguez, he wants to move quickly. Going to try to go for it here. They marked him down at the 41, 2 yards to the line of the game. Ravenwood going to go for it. Hand off to Hickey. He stood up at the line of scrimmage. Z Crockett once again, Trip Naaman on the scene as well.
He can do it all. Z Crockett, what a play. Just getting up through that middle and stopping that run. Wrapped him up tight. Trip Naaman as well. And first down for the Mustangs.
So a turnover on downs by the Mustangs defense, who have come out to play today. 2:05 remaining here in the first quarter. We are still scoreless, and both sides of the ball for both teams have shown up and made plays so far early in this game.
And we really are seeing the effect of that wide receiver room for Ravenwood not being as experienced as Cruz Kelly is basically the only Ravenwood player getting the ball.
Yeah, we mentioned it. 10 out of 140 receptions from last year's Raptors team returned this year as J.C. White on a read option tiptoes to the right side, gets around that first down marker before being met by Jalen Pollard, the senior defensive back.
J.C. White got to be careful with that one as he moves the chains. We saw him earlier run for 50, 60 yards and get a little shaken up. Does a lot better job there getting back up from that one. He is a tough quarterback for sure. Lipscomb
Academy in Raptors territory for the second time tonight. 1:40 to play here in the opening frame. Trips to the right side, lone receiver out to the right. Fakes the handoff, screen pass to Blivens. Blivens on the move and is put to a stop at the 45-yard line. A nice little gain for the Mustangs. 2nd down and about 6 coming up now. They'll officially mark Blivens down at the 45. 1:14 to go here in this first quarter.
Heavy set here for Lipscomb Academy.
Bunch formation. White looking. Scrambles right. Heaves one towards Fowler. Nearly picked off by Jalen Pollard, but he couldn't get his hands on it.
And usually I love those throws where J.C. White's going and running out to the left or right of the pocket there. Looks like we have a flag on the play.
And it was a flag thrown in the backfield. The Mustangs are the ones moving back, and they are the guilty party.
As I was saying, though, that not quite the throw you want to make there. Triple coverage and just Raptors all around.
10-yard penalty, so that will push it back to 2nd and 17, replaying the second down. We mentioned Jalen Pollard, the senior defensive back/safety for Ravenwood. He's a Western Kentucky commit. That Pollard last name, if you're an NFL fan, very familiar. Jalen Pollard, the son of former NFL Pro Bowler Bernard Pollard, won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, spent some time with the Titans as well. Jalen Pollard, he said he thinks he's a harder hitter than what his dad was. So that's a lot as J.C. White on the move, 2nd down and long, finds Manoa Crockett to the right sideline as he steps out of bounds at the 50-yard line, a quick gain of 5.
Another 3rd and long here for this Mustang offense. Definitely want to keep J.C. White inside of that pocket. I know he's shifty, but you are always, as a quarterback, going to make better throws when you're inside of that pocket. So looking to see some good protection here and to get this first down.
They mark Crockett down at the 49 officially of Lipscomb Academy. So 3rd down and 13 coming up. We've seen the Mustangs convert on a couple of 3rd and longs today. Cam Blivens, lone receiver out to the left side in the bottom of your screen. A pair of wideouts to the right for Lipscomb Academy and Spencer and Fowler. White to throw. On the move. He's one towards the middle of the field. Could not connect, however, with Dante Fowler. That ball hit the ground. And looks like the Mustangs going to have to punt this one away. That drive going to be killed after that penalty.
And there it is again, just the quick penetration there from the Raptors. J.C. White not able to make a throw. I was thinking he was going to go Cam Blivens on the far left. He was one-on-one and pressed. Found a little bit of space, but again, can't make that crossbody throw all the way across the field, and he has to take the second option, and it doesn't work out.
And Richard Rodriguez, the head coach for Ravenwood, he said it after the win against MRA last week. We want to win up front. They want to win games in the trenches at defensive line. A strength of this Raptor squad is the punt from Guinness. Nicely taken, however, tripped up at the 35-yard line as Macias. And that is where Femi Babalola and the Raptors offense will start things out.
So here we go. We see Z Crockett and Trip Naaman waltz back out there along with Beck Woodside. We saw some great run defense the past few drives, which was able to halt this Raptor offense. We'll see how it goes this time.
You mentioned Naaman and Crockett. They were the ones that had that tackle on that 4th down play that put that Ravenwood drive to a halt. 3rd possession of the game for the Raptors here. A handoff to Caden Pace. Tries to run up the gut, spins past the defender, and is tackled and hauled in around the 40-yard line, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6 now coming up for the Raptors.
That's about the best run we've seen all day here from the Raptors. Only 4 yards. Just emphasizes how great of a day this D-line is having in those linebackers.
This is a Ravenwood team that loves to run the ball. They averaged 6.1 yards per carry a season ago as Cruz Kelly tried to climb the ladder but couldn't haul that pass in from Babalola. Incomplete. Now a 3rd down coming up here.
Maybe a business decision there from Cruz Kelly, taking possibly an instant contact if he catches that one.
3rd down coming up here for Ravenwood.
Yeah, and a good opportunity here for this defense to get the ball back for their offense.
Babalola back to throw under duress, chased down by Woodside, scrambles
Kelly's
left,
on the other
airs it
side.
out towards the left sideline, but not able to connect with his wideout in Jarrett Peterson.
And Brandon, maybe put Kelly on that side, and maybe you get a first down there. This wide receiver group, like as you mentioned, not too experienced except for Cruz Kelly.
As that is how we will wrap up the first quarter. No score in this first quarter, but plenty of action from both sides. 0-0 your score as the Mustangs will get ready to have a potential punt return here as we get ready for this second quarter of action.
Hi, I'm Ella Oregon and Coach Stark. How many years have you been at Lipscomb?
This is my 6th year.
And what's your favorite part of the high school football game?
I love high school football games. Friday night's the best. I love our community coming out supporting our Mustangs.
And what's your favorite memory of the football game?
1, us winning, and 2, the Stampede run at halftime.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ella, as we bring you back onto the field as we get set for the second quarter of action. Ravenwood getting set to punt this one away with Cam Blivens back to return as Brandon Bigsby alongside Gideon Carter with you on the call. Gideon, an interesting first quarter nevertheless. Both teams had some opportunities for a score, but the defenses have stood tall so far through 12 minutes.
Yeah, it's looking like a nice dogfight here, nice low-scoring game. Gotta love it. Most people love a lot of scoring, but when people are just chipping at each other and they're getting at each other, not scoring points, but just fighting as hard as they can.
Jack Henderson punts that one away as Cam Blivens able to return this to around the 35-36 yard line. So the Mustangs have their 4th possession of the game coming up, their first of the second quarter. They've done a good job being able to get into Ravenwood territory, but a couple of critical penalties have set their drives back. The question, can they find their way into the end zone and get over the hump?
Right. I mean, you saw earlier, obviously, those third downs and third and longs that Lipscomb's been finding themselves in, not able to convert in the past, and that's just their biggest obstacle right now is just getting that ball forward before that third down comes up.
Manoa Crockett in the backfield with J.C. White. White hands it off to Crockett, using some blockers. Nice little run down the middle as he'll be ankle tackled around the 40-yard line, so about a 5-yard gain for Manoa Crockett. 2nd and 5 now coming up.
The little Le'Veon Bell run there from Manoa Crockett as you saw him kind of wait patient behind that offensive line and then get ready and then just take off right around those blockers.
That's a play that when you go back to the film room, the running back coach and the offensive line coach going to have a wide smile watching that play as Crockett gets his number called once again. Gets about 2 yards on that play, so 3rd down and rather manageable for the Mustangs. They'll mark it officially as a gain of 2, 3rd and 3. Lipscomb Academy starting to establish that run game here a little bit. We talked about the run game struggling a little bit last week. They had 398 total yards, but 334 of those came through the air. 10:47 to play, 3rd and 3, ball at the 42-yard line of Lipscomb Academy. White to throw. Pass to Crockett, who took a hard shot there below the waist. Incomplete pass.
Little uncalled for hit there. Got to make sure that receiver has the ball before you go for any hit, especially low. Most dangerous hits are low hits around those knees and around those ankles.
Now it's the defensive back, James Nelson, one of 42 seniors on the Ravenwood rosters. Thankfully, Manoa Crockett able to get up quick. Didn't look like there was any harm done, but that does put the Mustangs' drive to a halt. 4th down and 3, and Tyler Guinness out to punt this one away. As a delay of game potentially going to be called here as well as that clock hit 0. The Mustangs took their time getting set, so that's going to push them back a little bit further. I'm sure Jamie Graham more than likely wasn't thinking about a fake, but if you were, that probably kills any chance of that right there.
I'd say so, and this punt unit trying to get this ball away and deep.
Guinness.
Good one.
Boots this one away. Macias back to return it.
Great
he is
tackle.
met immediately by number 5, Lincoln Higginbotham. The junior defensive back right there meeting Macias at the point of return.
Those solo tackles, that is a crucial part of special teams. If the first guy can get that good, solid contact, I mean, you're gonna have so much success there.
And those long returns, it always starts out with making that first man miss, right? If you get that first tackle wrapped up, you don't give a chance for a big play. Higginbotham doing a good job of stopping that play really before it even got started. Ball spotted at the 31. That's where Ravenwood begins this drive. Babalola to throw under pressure, nearly sacked. A little hook shot throw will fall harmlessly to the ground, incomplete, as Harris Fisher was the one on the pressure.
And I don't know how he directed that somewhere towards his receiver. I thought maybe that was going to be an intentional grounding, but he had somebody there somehow while he was being wrapped up.
Well, we're celebrating the classes of 1967 and 1970. That was a little prime Kareem Abdul-Jabbar here from Simi Babalola, bracing the spirit of the eras.
He did. He
Second
lobbed
and
that
10
thing
now
up.
coming up. Babalola to throw. Heaves one deep towards the middle of the field. Nearly dangerous as trying to sky up to catch that one was Z. Crockett.
And I don't know if he can see somebody, we can't, but there is nobody within 10 yards of that ball.
And pardon me, that was actually Will Hudson Thompson that went up to grab that one, the defensive back, the junior. All of a sudden, Ravenwood looking at 3rd and 10. This drive in danger of ending rather quickly here. 2 quick passes, 2 quick incompletions.
Still no sign of Maverick Chance on this Ravenwood team.
He's a big piece of what this Ravenwood team likes to do with that 2-quarterback system. Babalola back to throw. Looking. Fires one middle of the field. Was it picked off? Yes, it was! Trip Naiman!
There he is! Trip Naiman! Look at him! What a pick! What a play by Trip Naiman there! And a huge play for this Mustang defense.
The leader, the captain, Trip Naiman, steps up and makes another huge play on defense. Second turnover from the Mustangs defense today. And all of a sudden, they also have the ball in Ravenwood territory as well. A potential huge shift here in this second quarter of play.
And Babalola, I don't know what we're doing there. Those past 2 throws just nowhere near anybody. And the Mustangs aren't going to fail on capitalizing on that twice.
Naiman had 1 interception last season against NBA. Gets one here. White throws towards the left sideline. That one out of reach and out of play in the direction of Cam Blivens.
Cam Blivens can certainly make that catch, but as a QB, that is a very hard pocket to hit. That just got to thread the needle there between those 2 defenders in terms of elevation and not really getting that there.
Exactly 10 minutes to go here before the half. We are still tied at 0. In a matchup between 2 teams in the past have been dynamic offenses. We're seeing the defense show up and show out here so far tonight. We'll see if that trend continues or if the offenses can open things up. J.C. White fakes the handoff, takes off himself towards the middle of the field. J.C. White jumps over a defender, gets the first down and a little bit more.
Love to see it from J.C. White. Didn't see it as much last week. We saw it obviously laterally, but not vertically like we're seeing it tonight. And he is such a weapon in the backfield. Got to get a spy on him or he's going to tear up this Raptors defense.
Ball spotted at the 34-yard line.
Also did a great job of dodging a big hit there.
As the Mustangs still with 35 seconds on the play clock, so they can take their time here. Bunch set. A little bit of movement at the line of scrimmage, and flags do come out. We'll see which side they're going to call that on.
Flag on the play.
Neither side moving just yet.
Looks like it's going to be Ravenwood.
And it is. It's always interesting when you see that movement at the line of scrimmage, that flag comes out. One side's pointing at the other side's pointing back at them, hoping that they'll get a little bit of leverage on that call. It does go in the favor of the Mustangs, so first down and 5 now from the 29-yard line. Hand off to Manoa Crockett. Met by a trio of Ravenwood defenders.
You can see those 3 linebackers just, they were waiting for him. It's like Grigsby's coming on.
And we talked about Kobe Grigsby. 8 catches a week ago in the loss to McCauley. Really stood out, the sophomore wideout. 2nd and 4. They officially mark Crockett down at the 28-yard line. White fakes the handoff. Scrambling right. Heaves one in the direction of Spencer. He grabs it and is met at the 15-yard line. A gain of about 13. And that's Langston Jordan, actually, the defensive back, doing a little work at receiver. Moves the chains, and it's another Mustangs first down, now in the red zone. Jamie Graham wants his offense to operate quickly. Handoff to Crockett. That's Z Crockett, who hops his way to around the 10-yard line, and the Mustangs really knocking on the door here. Lipscomb Academy still running with pace. 2nd and 6 coming up. Handoff again to Z Crockett. Stepping. Stopped it around the line of scrimmage. Sam Rohan and others were there on the tackle to meet him. Now all of a sudden, 3rd down and 5 coming up. Ball spotted at the 9-yard line. Going to be interesting to see what the Mustangs dial up here.
3rd and short here. Haven't seen much of this from this Mustang offense.
You get to the 4-yard line to get a first down. White scrambling left, has Z Crockett, gets it to him. He's chopped down at around the 5. We'll see where they mark it. He was close to that first down marker. Oh, and he's just about a half-yard short.
This is tempting, but I might take the field goal here.
It's 4th and a few inches, maybe a full yard, and it looks like Jamie Graham, he's keeping his offense out on the field. They're going to quarterback sneak it. Did he get it? Ravenwood thinks no. Lipscomb Academy says yes, and so do the officials.
Nice.
First down, Lipscomb Academy, a close call and some held breaths over on this side of the stadium.
Yeah, from our angle, that definitely didn't look like he got it, but those refs doing a great job getting in there. Good eyes and seeing it.
1st and goal, ball on the 4-yard line for the Mustangs. Jumbo package out now here for Lipscomb Academy as well.
First opportunity for either offense this close to the goal line.
And if I'm correct, I believe that is Beck Woodside in the backfield with J.C. White, and they're going to hand it off to him. Woodside up the gut. He is met at around the 2-yard line. That's actually Harris Fisher. One linebacker for another there.
Right. Harris is a big man there. Hard to stop, especially going downhill. As you see, he's lined up far back there behind the line of scrimmage.
They give it off to Fisher again. He's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage this time around. It's Peyton Husak, the senior linebacker, who gets the tackle. We mentioned the pair of linebackers back there, Beck Woodside, Harris Fisher.
Looks like maybe
Jacob Christ was out there as well. So all 3 linebackers in the backfield there for the Mustangs on those first 2 plays. They'll trot out now.
looks like it's going to be Crockett, Fowler, Grigsby.
Yeah, and I was a loss of 5 yards on that play as well. So 3rd down and goal coming up from the 7-yard line. Decisions. 5 seconds ago on the play clock,
Like
and then Jamie Graham's going to call a timeout. And now I'll give us some time to collect our breath here as the Mustangs and Raptors will go to their respective huddles, talk things up on what is a huge 3rd down coming up. 5:47 to go here in the first half. We are scoreless as of now. Mustangs knocking on the door of a touchdown, potentially could get the field goal as well from Tyler Guinness. Defense has been the story so far, but all of a sudden, J.C. White and this offense working their way down the field. They've gotten closer and closer and closer. 2 turnovers created from the Mustangs defense. The question now, can their offense reward them with 6 on the board?
And they will do or die. Jamie Graham, I believe he wants a touchdown here. After that 4th down, there is no way he is going to let an opportunity like this slide, especially in this game, in this setting, at home, and hungry for a win.
And obviously, you're hoping you just convert here on this 3rd and 7 coming up. But if you don't get it, Then what do? We've seen Jamie Graham be willing to roll the dice before. Gambled last week on that untimed down in the second quarter. Was rewarded with a touchdown from Cam Blivens in the end zone. So going to be interesting to see what Lipscomb Academy opts to do here with this next play call or two.
And down here on the goal line, if we're thinking pass, I'm thinking Cam Blivens. Put him out wide, leave him one-on-one. If they're running man, which they probably are, it being on the goal line, go Cam Blivens. But we'll see him stacked up here with Fowler. Down on the edge, off toward the right.
Watch out for the big man, number 88, Jake Kleinite, the tight end, lined up at the line of scrimmage as well. He is an eligible receiver. Third down. White fakes the handoff, takes it himself, takes the right edge.
There is one man to beat.
Does he get past the goal line? Waiting for the call. They are going to mark him about a tip of the football short.
Wow. And I do think that call is right. And I also think Jamie Graham is 100% going for this.
Let's see. It looks like he is bringing that jumbo package out once again. Beck Woodside trots out onto the field. He's going to be the only one here. Do we look at that quarterback sneak again? Mustangs had a fourth down in about the same length on this drive earlier, and it was a QB sneak to J.C. White.
Now you see the big bodies from both teams coming in here. This is a massive play.
It's fourth down and about a length of the football.
It's like there's going to be another timeout.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be from the Mustangs. That play clock was trickling on down, and it is a timeout by Jamie Graham. One more remaining for him in this half. 4:55 to play here in the second quarter. A lot of buzz here around the energy of the Reese Smith Athletic Complex tonight. Obviously, the Mustangs feeling good here, competing well with this tough Ravenwood team, but also honoring some of the past. We have members of the 1967 through 1970 classes here with us tonight. The significance of these teams is that they were the first four teams that David Lipscomb High School fielded since the reinstatement of football in 1967 after the program had ceased to exist 30 years prior. This also includes the 1970 team that won the NIL championship that year under head coach Buck Dozier. All players, managers, coaches, and cheerleaders were invited to come out to the game tonight. There was a dinner held for them in the McAdams Center before the game, and so far that group back on their old stomping grounds being treated to a heck of a game. And make sure you stay tuned with us. We will have Coach Buck Dozier joining us here in the booth for an interview. The head coach of that NIL championship team. Going to be fun to hear from him and get some of his thoughts on the Mustangs program and what he's seen tonight.
And talk about old school football. Man, this is the perfect embodiment.
Oh, yeah.
Hard, gritty runs and goal line stands like these. Here we go.
The Mustangs need about a length of the football. It's fourth down in a few inches. It is all or nothing. White under center. They're trying to push him forward. Gets a shove from behind. He's not there yet. He's not there yet. I don't think he got there. No, he did not. The Raptors stand tall.
Wonderful stand there from the Raptors on the goal line. But not too sure what their plan is coming out here on the half-yard line with this Mustang defense.
There's some debating there from some of the Mustangs players. And you see where that ball was spotted. He got about half the distance that he needed, but not enough to get on the board. Turnover on downs. And that is a momentum-sucking play for the Mustangs and one that could provide a jolt if you're the Raptors on the other end of this.
And this is a Raptors team who, historically, this game has not been able to run it up the middle. What's their move here?
And again, not surprising. This is a Ravenwood team that averaged 300 yards per game last year, and a lot of that came on the ground. They averaged 177 rushing yards per game, 6 yards per carry. You do mention that flag, Gideon. Going to be interested to see who this is on. If it's on the Mustangs, that'll push Ravenwood forward and give them a little more breathing room. If it's on Ravenwood, I mean, they're going to have to basically just hope that they don't have a safety.
Right. As I mean, you look at this Ravenwood team, everybody has their feet in the purple here.
And it looks like it is going to go against Ravenwood here. It's too many men on the field. So it will be half the distance to the goal here. Ravenwood really not losing anything in terms of yardage, but again, this is dangerous territory here for the Raptors. If you have a muff snap, if you have a missed block, you are looking right into the eyes of a safety, a loss of possession, and 2 points on the board for the Mustangs.
You are, and like I mentioned earlier, this run has not worked up the middle so far, as it looks like we're going to have a timeout called here.
Yeah, I think
by
Richard
Ravenwood.
Rodriguez wants to talk about this play call here. This is a very big potential flip here. Obviously, the Mustangs were stood up at the goal line, but if your defense, who we've seen get a lot of penetration throughout this game, can break through and get that safety, get 2 points on the board, that is a huge, huge shift back onto the side of the Mustangs again.
And is this where you bring out Maverick Chance for the first time this game?
Now, that's a good question. Remember, Maverick Chance, he is one of the most dynamic players on this Ravenwood team. Ran for over 900 yards and 19 touchdowns in 2024. We haven't seen him so far today. Don't see him out there right now. It's Babalola along with Caden Pace in the backfield. They are at the 99.5-yard line. Babalola to run. He gets past the end zone, and he's going to be met by Beck Woodside at around the 5-yard line. So Ravenwood able to get their backs from away from the wall, but still a long way to go towards that end zone that they're hoping to hit here for the first time tonight.
Definitely. He just barely got out of that end zone as he had to run straight outside and find that gap. He did.
Jackson Whaley was the first to get there on the tackle. 2nd and 4 now. Babalola to throw. Screen pass over to the left sideline. He's met by Eli Mass. The reception made by Cy Longley. First time we've called his name today. As that will move the sticks for a Raptors first down.
Good job here by this Raptors offense, getting out of that end zone.
Under 4 minutes to play, ball spotted at the 12-yard line. Babalola, handoff to Caden Pace, has some room up the right side, gets past the initial line of scrimmage, and Pace is still going. Pace past midfield, and he's pushed out of bounds at around the 40-yard line. A big gain from Caden Pace, had a big run last week in the win over MRA, shows off a little bit of that speed there.
He's going to be running off the field there and replaced quickly, as that is the first time we've seen this Mustang defensive line let up a run like that in this game.
A 42-yard carry from Caden Pace gets the Raptors into Lipscomb Academy territory. They're wanting to run quick here. Trips to the right side, one receiver out to the left. Babalola fakes the handoff, keeps it. He might be stood up, but somehow gets out of it. He's still on the run, but is wrapped up at around the 47-yard line. Z Crockett, once again, you call him the Rock, and he's cooking so far tonight.
And how about Harris Fisher getting there in that initial contact? He got away from him, but that was the initial catalyst of that play. Such a big dude and such great speed there. Not able to make that tackle, but his teammates made up for it, and that's what football's about.
So from the Mustangs 46 to the Raptors 46, a significant loss on that play there from Ravenwood. 2nd down and a long way to go. They got to get to the 36-yard line to move the chains. Babalola back to throw. Room in the pocket. Airs one out to the right sideline. Finds his man, the wide receiver, over to that right side. That is once again Cruz Kelly. He has been quite active in this first half.
It's a 3rd and very short here. I'm thinking they still go with a pass here.
Now it's Christian Blivens on the tackle. That's the brother of Cam Blivens. 3rd down and about 1 coming up here. Babalola looking, pressured, finds his man in a little room to run. That was Talon Vaughn, who is finally brought down at the 29-yard line, a 17-yard play.
Good little scheme up there by Ravenwood, just motioning into the middle there, getting that short route and finding those blockers in that space up the middle.
Ball officially spotted at the 28-yard line, 2:25 to go, and Ravenwood this time knocking on the door. These two teams, they have been matching each other on both sides. One team gets a fourth down stop, the other gets one. One team gets a turnover, the other team gets one. It has been blow for blow so far. Babalola stands in the pocket, heaves one towards the left side. It is tipped. A nice defensive play made by the corner, Caleb Grooms. Second down now coming up.
And Caleb Grooms made it look a lot easier than it actually is there, as he has to turn his hips there and dive for that tip and break up that play. Would have been a touchdown without him.
2:06 to play here in the first half. Both teams looking for their first score of the game. Ravenwood 28 yards away from Pater and also in field goal range. Babalola to pass. Strikes one towards the middle of the field. Finds his man. That's Cy Longley, who gets it right around that first down marker. We'll see where they spot him officially, whether it was enough to move the chains. It was not. He's about a length of the football short. Where have I heard that one before?
And we've seen that a lot from Ravenwood, these types of plays here. As Babalola just loves to make those little short passes. He's very good at wiring them in there with that speed and accuracy.
Third and short. Babalola to throw again. Strikes one incomplete, intended for Cy Longley. Couldn't get both hands on that ball.
Maybe too fast of a pass on that one, as I mentioned previously.
And now it's decision time for Ravenwood. Do they go for it or do they take the field goal? So far, offense is staying out on the field. And it doesn't look like Richard Rodriguez is trying to get his special teams unit out there. He's going for glory. 4th down and 1. The Raptors have to get to the 19-yard line.
This is big here.
Lots of space between the corners of Lipscomb Academy and the receivers of Ravenwood. A little movement at the line of scrimmage. No flags. 5 seconds to go on the play clock. Now down to 2. Down to 1. Mustangs do not jump, and a timeout called by Ravenwood. We saw this same scenario a week ago in the second quarter. McCauley tried to get Lipscomb Academy to jump around the same part of the field, 4th and 1 around the 19-yard line. And McCauley opted to kick the field goal, and they went back out onto the field. That was what ended up leading to the Jacob Christ tipped field goal. So the Mustangs hoping for the same result here, but 1:26 to play. Going to be interesting to see what the Raptors decide to do, if they still want to go for it and just want a different look, or if they decide to get first blood and hope that their kicker can convert on what will be a 36-yard field goal attempt.
And these types of low-scoring games, it's always just better to get points where you can find them, because you might not get another chance. We didn't see Jamie Graham do that, of course, on Mustang's last drive, but maybe Ravenwood does it here. It looks like they will not.
The field goal kicker is Carlos Guerra. He's a 4.5 star by Cole's Kicking, committed to play at Austin P. But it doesn't look like they're going to turn to their senior kicker. They're going to go for it here, it looks like. A bunch set for the Raptors. 4th down and 1. Ravenwood got a 4th down stop. Can the Mustangs respond with one of their own? Handoff to Pays. He trips his way forward for the first. Kobe Collins, I think, thought that he had him.
I believe that's Maverick Chance actually in there.
It is Maverick Chance. We haven't seen him so far tonight. First time we've gotten a look at Maverick Chance. He comes up at a big stage there, got a gain of 2. It's Chance again. He has room up the middle. He's still pushing forward, still going into the end zone. Touchdown, Ravenwood. Maverick Chance bowls his way into a 17-yard score, and the Raptors strike first.
And he was charging up for that one. That's his first 3 plays in the game. And what a boost here for Ravenwood at the end of the half.
Maverick Chance, the senior QB. We talked about this 2-quarterback system that they like to utilize. We haven't seen much of it today. You mentioned the hand injury that Chance has had kind of ailing him a little bit, but they brought him in on that goal line package. The Navy commit finds his way to a score. 6-0 Ravenwood lead. The extra point from Guerra, up and true, right down the middle.
The Mustangs really need to come back here, get a quick response before this half. Don't want to go into the locker room down 7 with nothing to say for it.
And something to remember, too, Lipscomb Academy won the toss and elected to receive, so Ravenwood will get the ball to start the second half. So J.C. White in this Lipscomb Academy offense, 1:03 to play. You have one timeout in your back pocket. You feel like you've been able to move down the field. They've been so close, knocking on the door. The door is even creeped open. They just haven't been able to walk in quite yet.
Exactly. So close on that last drive, J.C. White was, to just getting in the end zone. Just happened to be the opposite zero on the other side of the field, getting in instead.
This is one of those games you mentioned earlier, throwback a little bit, low scoring, a slugfest, battle in the trenches, big plays coming between the backfield and the big defensive linemen, blocking being critical. We're not seeing a lot of the new age, high flying, break the top off offense. This is a true back to its roots football game right now that's being decided right in between the lines.
And this is a perfect time to see something from special teams. Here, as we see again the unusual kickoff set here from Ravenwood, we're just bunched in a little bit.
Carlos Guerra to kick this one off. It's Trip Name and then Dante Fowler back to return this for the Mustangs. First kickoff led to a touchback. Guerra, he can kick it 65 plus yards. You saw that big leg right there. Dante Fowler not even going to give that one a try. Now land safely for a touchback. And Lipscomb Academy, their offense will start out on the 20-yard line. 63 seconds to go on the clock. Again, one timeout in the back pocket of J.C. White. Going to be interesting to see what the Mustangs can do. We saw them in this situation a week ago, and they were able to find a score. Can they repeat that success here on this possession today?
Yeah, and the Mustangs have a great kicker, obviously, in Tyler Guinness. Got some good range. Just got to get up to around that 35, around that 30. Just give them a chance.
Let's see what they can do. White fakes the handoff, finds his man. That's the wideout of Langston Jordan, who gets a short gain. They mark him down at the 23-yard line, 2nd and 7. Got out of bounds as well. 57 seconds to go, and the clock stops.
It's a good little gain there on first down. Just looking to get something every play. Just to get down there, get out of bounds, save that time.
Trips to the left side. Bliven's lone man out to the right. White in trouble. Spins out of a sack and still on his feet. White looking downfield. Finds a man there. A nice throw to Jackson Spencer, the sophomore, and I'll move the sticks for a Mustangs first down.
Spencer does a great job there of getting out of bounds as quick as possible after getting his feet in. Make sure nobody can push him in bounds and keep that clock running.
Down to 46 seconds now, and give J.C. White some credit as well of being able to get out of that sack. Looked like he was in a world of trouble there. J.C. White has yet to be sacked so far this season through 5.5 quarters.
Truly some magic there in the backfield.
White looking, dials it up to Blivens. It's caught but intercepted. There's a fight for the ball. Who are they going to give it to? It looked like it was James Nelson, the senior defensive back. They're still fighting for it. And Blivens is the one that has it down there. And they're going to give it to the Mustangs. Wow. Cam Blivens, how did you do that one?
Wow. I don't know if you guys were watching and saw that, but the Ravenwood DB definitely maybe caught that for him, but you got to go down with it and keep possession.
Clock still running, however, 35 seconds to play. Mustangs have a timeout. They have got to hurry up. White looking to throw. Right side, intercepted nearly, but it was dropped by Connor Shave, the junior linebacker. Danger averted for the Mustangs.
That was scary, and what a giant mistake there by number 30 on Ravenwood. He catches that. He is gone. Mustangs take a moment there after that incompletion. Need to think this one through on the edge of field goal range here. Don't want to go backwards. Safe plays here. Don't necessarily need to get in the end zone here. Just need some points.
2nd and 10, ball at the 33. White to throw again. Steps up in the pocket.
got room.
Gonna take off and run. Gets the first down and more. White still on his feet. Wrapped up at the 21-yard line. 15 seconds to go. Clock ticking and a timeout going to be called by Jamie Graham. Potentially here is... Yes, Jamie Graham will call a timeout.
That is his last one of the half. This is where you make your decision. Are you kicking the field goal or are you going for the end zone? As the clock is not in your control anymore. It's a big decision.
And you want to talk about deja vu, Gideon? This is almost the exact scenario that we saw against Macaulay last week. No timeouts. 14 seconds ago, ball just a little bit outside of the red zone. I think it might have been exactly on the 22-yard line. And J.C. White, he got bailed out a little bit, let the clock expire, threw under the end zone, was incomplete, but a defensive pass interference gave Lipscomb Academy that untimed down, and they found Cam Blivens in the end zone for a score. This is very, very similar to what we saw for the Mustangs a week ago. They're going to hope for a similar result here to try to tie this game up at 7 heading into the half.
Yeah, and definitely an easier opponent to pull it off against. Just a tighter game in this one, most definitely, and not as much yellow on the field. So without that help, see what happens.
No one out wide to the left side, but two wideouts out to the right, and Cam Blivens and Dante Fowler. J.C. White scrambles right, heaves to the end zone for Cam Blivens. He's caught but down. Clock is ticking. 7 seconds to go. Mustangs have got to hurry up. 4 seconds. 5 is where the clock stops for now. They have to spot the ball, and then it will start rolling.
Mustangs are in formation.
Mustangs have it. 4 seconds to go, and it's spiked quickly by J.C. White with 2 seconds to go.
Let's see what Jamie Graham decides to do. I'm going to say it again. I would take the points where you can get them. This has been a tight game for both teams on offense. I'm kicking the field goal.
And remember, the Mustangs, they have been in the red zone twice, and they were stood up both times. This is the second time it is and goal. Jamie Graham, for the second straight week, he's relying on his offense to get a score. Blivens is all alone to the left side. White gives it to him. Jump ball! Caught!
Flag on the
Touchdown,
field.
Lipscomb Academy. There is a flag on the field, but Cam Blivens, don't you dare tug on Super Cam's tape, because he will answer, swoop in, and save the day.
Blivens, what a catch.
The flag is against Ravenwood for defensive pass interference, and for the second straight week, Cam Blivens walks off the first half with a jump ball in the end zone.
What a gamble there by Jamie Graham, not taking the field goal, and it pays off again. I'm wrong again. What a play by both quarterback and receiver. And man, that's embarrassing if you're that DB.
Cam Blivens, we talked about it earlier. It was announced today that he was voted on the Tennessean as the top offensive prospect of the year. He had 200 yards, 8 catches, a touchdown and an interception last week. And that touchdown was identical. Same sideline over on the other side of the field. He jumps up, grabs it, comes down with it, and Cam Blivens, that boy is special.
He is, and that's something I haven't seen in a long time from a receiver. You know who that makes me think of, Brandon? That makes me think of the one, the only Megatron. How are we catching these balls in that kind of contact?
So the extra point set here for Tyler Guinness. This is to tie. Guinness converts. How about that for the end of the first half? Cam Blivens steps up once again in the clutch. And how about that roar from the Mustangs faithful?
Wow. What a half of football. And I am hyped for the second. This is going to be a photo finish.
We are tied up at 7 at halftime. Ravenwood will get the ball back to start the second half. Do not go away. We've got a special guest joining us here in the booth. Mustangs former head coach Buck Dozier will be joining us for an interview. You are not going to want to miss that. Make sure you stay tapped in with us right here at the Lipscomb Academy Football YouTube channel. Do not go away. My name is Brandon Bigsby alongside Gideon Carter. We'll be right back here in just a few moments.
The weight of defeat lingers, but adversity doesn't define us. It refines us. In the moment you choose to rise, not stay down. Champions aren't built when it's easy. They're forged in fire, in sweat, in setbacks. Pressure doesn't crush the Mustangs. Pressure creates endurance. This week, the Raptors come for us. But history says predators don't last forever. They face extinction. Friday night isn't about last week. It's about proving who we are when the lights shine the brightest.
Finds a man in the end zone for a Oblivious. It is caught in the end zone. Did he hold on? Yes, he did! Touchdown, Mustangs! What a play! The middle, touchdown, Mustangs!
Steve Crockett.
We've taken the hit. Now we swing back. As one. This week is about redemption, about answering every doubt with action.
Touchdown, Mustangs! Dante Fowler!
We don't back down, we rise as one. One tribe, one heartbeat, one brotherhood.
1, 2, 3.
All right, we are back here at halftime. Mustangs and Raptors tied at 7. Brandon Bigsby, Gideon Carter, and a special guest joining us here in the booth, former Mustangs head coach Buck Dozier. Mr. Dozier, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here today.
Thanks for being here. It's great to be out here. They did a little presentation for some of my teams and before the game, and really appreciated it.
Yes, sir. We talked a little bit earlier in the broadcast about these teams, the significance of those 1967 to 1970s classes. I know you were brought on when they started the football program back up here at David Lipscomb High School. How cool is it to be able to come back on campus, see some of your former students here all of these years later?
Well, it's great to do that because, as long as they've been gone, I haven't seen them in a long time. So it was great to be a part of it. The first three teams, after Lipscomb not being in football for a long time, they took a beating for a while, but the fourth team actually turned it around. We won our first championship, and then it was a little bit of good sailing from there on.
Yes, sir. Really the first kickoff of success of what's been a lot of success for this program since. I know you met with head coach Jamie Graham yesterday and got to talk with him. Just what are some of your thoughts? What was that conversation like about where the program today is and how proud you are seeing how they look now?
Well, the big thing is we didn't have a field. We didn't have a home field. And the year we were 10-1, we played in 9 different stadiums. And we had about 6 places that we played, so there was no home field advantage for us at all. This field in front of where this was a dirt field out here. Behind us is the baseball field, and that's where we practiced. And I tell everybody they knew when we were practicing because there was a big dust cloud up above us because there was no grass on the field, and we stirred up quite a bit of dust. Facilities are great here, of course, but back in those days we had nothing of that at all. And it was about 20 years before they ever came around to start building something.
I got to ask you, I know that there's probably so many to choose from, but you think back to your coaching days here at Lipscomb Academy. What are some of your favorite memories that stand out to you?
Well, the first one was the championship. The first championship was Bellevue. Minute 50 left in the game. We were 1-9, the only losing season I had the year before. The 2 previous seasons were losing seasons. And we were marching down the field. We scored on a pass play, a 2-point conversion pass, and I never will forget the look on the faces of the Lipscomb alumni and the Lipscomb fans and the players, because they didn't believe they could win that year. They weren't thinking that we were ready to win, yet we ended up 8-3 that year, turned the whole program around, won 5 of the next 7 years championships, and finished twice the other 2 years. So seeing that game was the turnaround of Lipscomb football.
Yeah, you talk about just the turnaround of Lipscomb Academy football, and again, kind of connecting just today's game to when you guys were here. What do you feel like are some of just the biggest differences or the biggest changes that we've seen in the high school football?
Yeah, the biggest thing is the spread offense. Although I have a different philosophy than most head coaches back in that time. In the 8 years I was head coach, I used 4 different offenses. I try to fit in high school, especially back in those days. Your players were whoever was born to you and whoever lived in the neighborhood. So that's what you had. And I know some coaches run the same offense every year. It doesn't make a difference what their talent is. I had a good pacer. That was our first championship. He lasted a couple of years. And then I had a quarterback who couldn't pass very well. Real short, but he was real quick to run. I went to the Wishbone for 2 years. They were 19-3. In that offense, and then when he graduated, I had a pacer coming, so we were going back to the spread offense, which, by the way, at that time wasn't used very often. We were going to be ahead of our time with the spread offense, and then that's when I had to retire, and my baseball team would finish second in the state, and then I turned it over to Coach Ernie Smith, and he was able to bring them through the next year as the champion. So I guess we changed a lot, regardless of the times, fitting on the personnel. But in overall football, it's the spread offense that has changed a lot for high school football.
Yeah, I know you guys are playing in the NIL at that point too. Obviously, NIL today meaning something a little bit different, obviously. But what was it like being able to play in that era where just national high school sports were kind of king? It was before the Titans and the Predators, and it was just so much intensity and hype around the high school scene.
Yeah, it really was. High school was big back in those days. We were neighborhood schools. We all played each other. A lot of teams and all the outlying teams. Bellevue was about as far as anybody went. No, we didn't go too far from there. We didn't have playoffs in that era at all. You went to a bowl game if you were fortunate enough to have a good team. They selected you usually because of your record and because you would bring a good crowd to a bowl game. We went to 3 bowl games during my era, and but it's the biggest change I think for high school is the playoff system. Many more games, longer season. Makes a huge difference.
Gideon, feel free to step in at any point, too. I do not want to step on your toes by any means.
No, you're totally fine. I just have maybe one question for you, and that's, as you're watching this game, who is one player, you don't have to say their name or number, just is there one player out there that stands out to you that you think would be a great person to coach?
Well, I don't know him that well. It's a very good question, and I'll say this: what's going on in football, college-wise and otherwise, it distresses me a lot. I coach to make a difference in boys' lives, and all this transferring and leaving and not being loyal to your school. I struggle with that. I'm sure if I knew these kids well enough, I do know of a couple of kids, and I know their parents, grandparents in some cases, are what I hear are great kids, and so that's important to me. I got to speak tonight we had a dinner before, and I got to speak to the teams that I had, and I could tell, and your Lipscomb team was in there before we were eating, and I could tell a lot by their manners and the way they conducted themselves. So I was very pleased with that. I noticed.
That's awesome. I do have a couple of more questions for you as well. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
But I know you talked about during the intro brotherhood, and I know you've mentioned in the past just how valuable high school sports are, especially football. what do you feel like does make high school football, not just for players and coaches, that experience so valuable?
It is. It comes along at a great time for a kid, a boy. Jake Gaither, who was the great black coach forever, he said one time that in football, the reason it was so important that he could see a kid's soul stripped naked. In other words, when you put a kid out there on a field, in a dusty field on 2-a-days and all of that, they're so sore they can't move. They wonder if they're going to make it through it. And then you give them a little more to do. You find a lot about a kid. You find out about what he can take, what he cannot take. I pushed our kids. The statistic that I'm the most proud of everything that we did, and I had a lot of kids who made all league and all those kind of things, and we had 6 championships. The greatest statistic, though, was I only went on the field in 8 years, 8 times to see about a boy hurt. And I think a lot of that had to do, we conditioned them. I wanted my players to be able to play 5 quarters without being able to be tired overtime. And I wanted them to, they say they're going to put on my gravestone. My players are, the question that I asked when a kid was hurt, are you hurt or are you hurting? If you're hurt, you lay down there, we're going to take care of you. We're going to, whatever's wrong with you, we're going to do whatever it is to take care of you. If you're hurting, let's get to the sideline, get right back in the game. And that's when you find out about a boy's heart. You find out, and I used to tell them, if you think Coach Dozier's the worst thing's ever happened to you in practice, because I pushed him so hard sometimes, I said, you got another thing coming, because in your life you're going to have a lot of things worse than me. And that's what right. That's why I coached. I think that athletic field sitting in front of us is one of the greatest classrooms in the world. You can learn a whole lot on that field.
Yes, sir. And I got to ask you, we've seen a lot on the field tonight. I'd be remiss to not ask for your opinion. We got a state champion head coach in the booth with us here. What have you seen from the Mustangs tonight? How do you think they've looked?
Well, I was down on the ground most of the time, so I couldn't see over people and see. Consistency was a problem in the early going, and for both teams, really, from that standpoint. They couldn't get the passing game going, really, and the running game either. And they seem to have settled down a little bit. I don't think it seems like the second game of the year, maybe they're not quite as up to their standards that Coach Graham wants them to be at. Because the third and fourth games each year, usually my teams begin to really gel with each other. So I think what I saw, as much as I did up here, was they seem like they begin to find some rhythm.
Yes, sir. We got about 2.5 minutes here before we kick off the second half. So I want to ask one more question. I'm sure a lot of people watching, seeing you, probably puts a smile on the face of so many people that know you, saw you coach, have seen you around the national area. How are you doing? How has life been treating you? I know you've done so much since your days coaching here at Lipscomb Academy. How has life been treating you as of lately? How are you doing?
I've had a blessed life. I've done a lot of different things in my life. I've had a lot of different occupations, and all of them I think were. Actually, God had something to do with all of them, and I'm at the age where, something's going to happen. I don't have that long to live in the long run, so I consider myself simply blessed. Everything I've ever done, God provided an opportunity for me, and I was able to do it. And probably the best opportunity that I had was to come here. They actually called me and said I was going to go to Metro and coach because they didn't have football here. And one of the college professors called me and said, we're going to start football back at Lipscomb. If you come over there, I think you can be the head coach in 2 years. And I was at 25 years old. Wow. So I was blessed early, and things worked out well. And if they'd have paid me, I'd still been here.
Well, hey, you did a lot of winning during your time as well. I mean, positively impacted so many young people really put that first foot forward and was become one of the staple programs, not just in the Nashville area, but in Tennessee. Gideon, you got anything else you want to ask?
I don't think so. I think he summed up everything pretty well. I mean, just so inspiring, just such a foundation for these young men. Coaches are like yourself, and we really appreciate your job here and what you've done at Lipscomb Academy.
Well, thank you so much. I never had all these great facilities, but I'm thrilled that all these kids get to have that. That I didn't get to be a part of that.
Oh, that was so awesome. Coach Dozier, thank you so much again
Thanks,
for your
guys.
time. It's an honor to have you
job.
up here. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Enjoyed
you so much.
being with you.
Coach
Thank you.
Buck Dozier, thank you again so much. We will be right back after a short break. We'll have the second half kickoff on the other side, as well as a little bit of a wrap-up from what we saw in the first half of action. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The weight of defeat lingers, but adversity doesn't define us. It refines us. In the moment you choose to rise, not stay down.
And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life.
Champions aren't built when it's easy. They're forged in fire, in sweat, in setbacks. Pressure doesn't crush the Mustangs. Pressure creates endurance. This week, the Raptors come for us. But history says predators don't last forever. They face extinction. Friday night isn't about last week. It's about proving who we are when the lights shine the brightest.
Finds a man in the end zone for a President. It is caught in the end zone. Did he hold on? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Mustangs. What a play. The middle. Touchdown, Mustangs.
Steve Crockett.
We've taken the hit. Now we swing back. As one. This week is about redemption, about answering every doubt with action.
Touchdown, Mustangs. Dante Fowler.
We don't back down, we rise as one. One tribe, one heartbeat, one brotherhood.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, I'm Tab Schaefer. I do Endeavor during 5th, 6th, and 7th periods of the day. And during my Endeavor time, I'm able to get a lot more of my schoolwork done. And I'm also able to get adjusted to a college-like schedule.
Hi, I'm Lauren Lovelace. I'm currently a junior at Lipscomb Academy. I use my Endeavor period to extend my work hours at Royal Rabbit, which is a clothing store. Endeavor has helped me tremendously with getting more experiences with work and just has been a positive influence on my life.
Welcome you back here from the Reese Smith Athletic Complex as we get set for the second half, 7-7 between Ravenwood and Lipscomb Academy. My name is Brandon Bixby, and my broadcast partner to the left of me, Gideon Carter. Gideon, a fun first half of play, 7-7, but there's been so much more action than what the scoreboard would tell you on both sides.
So many fourth down opportunities, so many crazy defensive stops, and so many shifts in the tone of the gameplay. This is going to be an exciting, fun to watch second half. And we're about to get underway.
Well, if you missed some of the first half action, don't worry, we've got you covered. Both touchdowns were scored in the second quarter. Maverick Chance, a 17-yard rushing score, started out things with a Steven Yachimsky PAT. And then as we saw to end that second quarter, Cam Blivens, a 7-yard touchdown pass from J.C. White in the back left corner of the end zone. Tyler Guinness hit the PAT. So far, when you just look at the comparisons, Mustangs with 12 first downs to Ravenwood's 17. Ravenwood with 65 rushing yards on 14 carries, 83 receiving yards on 7 receptions. While for the Mustangs, they have hit the century mark in both the air and the ground. 19 carries for 100 yards, 10 receptions for 107 yards so far today.
Here we go. We're lining up to kick off. It's going to be Tyler Guinness.
Tyler Guinness set to kick things off as he boots this one away, and back to return it is number 84
He's got
for
space.
Ravenwood. He's got some space and some room. He's still going before being wrapped up right at the sideline. There's some pushing and shoving over at that sideline. Don't see any flags just yet. And looks like there won't be, as Taylon Vaughn was the one to get a nice return there. That'll set up Ravenwood a pretty good start for this opening drive of the second half.
Yeah, and as usual, people are starting to get on others' nerves, especially in a tight game. Very, very difficult to stay calm.
So Femi Babalola will come out onto the field, the quarterback for Ravenwood in the first half. 17 for 16 passing, 83 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. He also had 2 carries for a loss of 2 yards.
Babalola, the last time we saw him, had some questionable passes. See how he plays here to begin the second half.
First play, a handoff to the tailback,
He's breaking some
Caden
tackles.
Pace. Caden Pace still on the move. He gets past the first down marker near midfield. That'll be a gain of about 12. And the Raptors' first play of this half is going to move the sticks.
In Pace, we saw him in his first half stint with a very, very long run from about the 10-yard line over to the 50 or 40 of the Mustangs.
Pace, 3 rushes, -1 yards. Davis Dowland has gotten the majority of the work. 7 carries for 49 yards. This is Pace once again. Got to the second level, was tripped up at around the 31. That's going to be another big gain there for Pace, who all of a sudden has awakened here to start this second half of play. Look at Caden Pace, 5'9", 185 pounds. He had 845 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns, averaged 7.3 yards per carry in the 2024 season. Last week had 55 yards on 4 carries, including a 20-yard touchdown score. Babalola will just pitch this one out to his big tight end. That is Charles Vlach, who was brought down at around the 25. A flag called as Vlach's, or excuse me, that's not Vlach, that's actually Jarrett Peterson resting his case to the officials. We'll see what the call is. And it looks like this one is going to go against Ravenwood. They're backing on up.
Possible hold there.
And it is going to be a holding call against the Raptors, so that will knock off the big gain from Charles Vlach. So it will be first down and 13 from the 36-yard line now. So lost about 3 yards.
A run here. You're going to have to watch Harris Fisher here. If you can get that quick penetration on the edge.
Pace in the backfield. He takes the handoff. Scampers to the right side and still going. Pace is chopped down by Eli Mast.
Good run there from Pace. Saw him cut up the edge there on that right side. Obviously running away from the highlighted Harris Fisher I mentioned pre-play. Probably for the best for him.
Harris Fisher, he had 3 tackles in that first half for the Mustangs. Second most, only behind Z Crockett. Babalola hands it off once again. This time it's to Dowland. He's still pushing. Gets the first down and plenty more, and all of a sudden Ravenwood is in red zone territory. And it is actually Caden Pace, excuse me.
He met Kobe Collins pretty quickly there on the line, but Kobe just not able to wrap him up and get him down.
First down, Raptors on the 19-yard line. 1st and 10. 2 wideouts to each side. Babalola, play action, airs one towards the right sideline, but incomplete intended for Cruz Kelly. He was quite active in that first half.
Babalola still having those slight accuracy problems as we saw at the end of the first half. That one just a little bit too far left for the receiver.
And a season ago, Babalola, he completed 57% of his passes, so a very respectable quarterback in that pocket, just a little bit off at points so far tonight as Caden Pace is met in the backfield. Beck Woodside. Hello.
My goodness, what a hit. Beck Woodside just perfect penetration, found that gap and identified the play and got the tackle.
And in the blink of an eye, Ravenwood staring into a 3rd and long situation. 12 yards to the sticks. They got to get to the 9-yard line to keep this possession going.
Ravenwood hasn't been able to score without Maverick Chance on the field yet.
2 receivers to each side. Babalola scans deep. Looks left. Making direction towards the end zone. It is caught! Back to the end zone! Touchdown, Ravenwood!
That catch,
Cy Longley!
Little suspect there on that catch. It looked like he kind of dropped it right before he hit the ground there. Nonetheless, refs call it a touchdown. We have a 13-7 game.
It was close, as you saw Femi Babalola. He was directing Longley in the end zone, telling him to move towards that back part near the goal post. Got him on a dime, drags that 1 foot in. You mentioned it looked like he may or may not have survived the ground, but there is no instant replay at the high school level in Tennessee. So you can't challenge it. You can't go back to review it. Ravenwood back on top as there's a flag on the PAT. The Mustangs are saying there was some movement by Ravenwood, and it looks like there was.
I mean, all credit to Babalola as that was just a wonderful floated ball right over the 2 Mustang defensive backs and into the hands of the receiver.
We mentioned this stat earlier about the Ravenwood offense. Out of 140 receptions that this team had last season, only 1 had at least 10 catches. That was Cy Longley. That means only 10.7% of their catches from last season came back in 2025. Cy Longley being the most notable of them. He steps up in a big moment and gets Ravenwood back in the lead. As the extra point is good, 14-7 now the score with 8:58 to play. This has been a game of really wide momentum shifts, it feels like. Mustangs earlier on the 1-yard line, 4th down and goals to bring it into the booth. Brandon Bigsby, Gideon Carter with you here on the call. They get stopped on the 4th down. Then Ravenwood thinks they're going down the field. Trip Naaman gets an interception. Then the Mustangs punt, have a 4th down opportunity. But then Maverick Chance comes in, saves the day. Ravenwood's feeling themselves. Then they think they have a stop. Cam Blivens comes in and gets a touchdown. Then Lipscomb Academy, 3rd and 12, and Femi Babalola and Cy Longley improvise, make a big play, and get back on top. This game has been so back and forth. It's been really fun to watch, but it has got to be driving these coaches mad on both sides.
I bet it is. We'll see another kickoff here from Ravenwood. See if this one will be returnable, as Trip Naaman and Dante Fowler will be back again to return.
Dante Fowler alongside Trip Naaman. We have not seen the Mustangs be able to capitalize on one of these returns. Carlos Guerra's had each of his kickoffs go for a touchback, as this one going to go out of bounds in the end zone, so that will be a flag. So that will push Lipscomb Academy up, as the ball does have to go inside of the end zone. It cannot hit that out of bounds mark first. So Lipscomb Academy will get the benefit of not having to start out on the 20, but instead will get a little bit of extra yardage to play with here. 8:58 to play here in quarter number 3, and we'll see J.C. White and this Lipscomb Academy offense come out for the first time this half.
Gotta have a response here if you're J.C. White. This Mustang offense looks like we're gonna do a little re-kick here.
Yeah, so we'll do a re-kick here. As this might actually give the Mustangs a chance to return this one. We mentioned Sam Guerra earlier. He has quite the leg, can kick it from 65 plus on these kickoffs, but nevertheless,
they're moved back here.
You do have 2 speedy options back there for the Mustangs, and Dante Fowler and Trip Naaman, so we'll see if they get their opportunity as they stand over at that 2-yard line. So Guerra will get that ball set on the tee. Fowler and Naaman will await it.
Are we still having that issue up there?
And again, the last time we saw this Mustangs offense, they were able to drive their way down the field, 80 yards for a touchdown to end the half. J.C. White quite impressive as well in that first half.
Mid blockers moving up here. See where this one goes.
So Guerra kicks this one off. Fowler going to take it from the 2.5-yard line. Fowler turns upfield. He is met and brought down. That was number 3, Wyatt Appleton.
What speed from Appleton there. Able to chase him down. Dante Fowler is not a easy man to chase down and tackle at that.
So the Mustangs get their first offensive possession of the second half. We talked about J.C. White, oh so impressive in that first half of play. 10 for 20 passing, 107 yards with 1 touchdown, but on the run. This man on the move, 7 rushes, 92 yards so far. Really, really close to the century mark in both passing and rushing.
And that's over 10 yards per carry. This man is averaging, excuse me, more than a first down.
Trips to the right side with 8:51 to play. Ball spot at the 13-yard line as White with the quarterback keeper takes it to the right side. Flag thrown in the backfield as White was slung down at around the 18. Tackle was made by Sam Rohan, senior defensive lineman. And it's going to be a holding call going against the Mustangs.
Dangerous position here for the Mustangs. Backed up. See what J.C. White can scrum up here.
Half the distance to the goal, so that will put the Mustangs all the way back to the 7-yard line. So from, or excuse me, the 3-yard line rather. So from 1st and 10 to 1st and 20. And it looks like they're actually, now they're going to spot at the 7-yard line. At first they were showing the 3, now they'll go to 7. We had it the first time.
That's a big 4 yards.
So it'll be 1st and 15, just a 5-yard penalty against Lipscomb Academy.
Good job on the refs.
J.C. White fakes the handoff. He is swallowed up at the line of scrimmage.
Raptors not fooled on that one.
Gets maybe a yard, and they will mark him down at the 9. 2nd and 14 now coming up.
Not necessarily looking for the first down on this play. Just need a little gain. Just aim to take half.
Sudden gutting on the tackle for Ravenwood. Mustangs have to get to the 24-yard line to keep this drive going. 2 wideouts to the left side. Manoa Crockett in the backfield with White. White fakes the handoff.
Heavy
He's on the
pressure.
run in the end zone. Just heaves that one. Finds his man down the field.
There it is. That's exactly what you need there from Grigsby.
It's Langston Jordan on the catch. As you mentioned it there, Gideon. That's a big gain. That makes it a 3rd down and 4 there for the Mustangs. And J.C. White, once again, avoiding pressure, extending that play, finding his man downfield for an accurate ball. And that actually is Kobe Grigsby, so excuse me, got the rosters a little bit mixed up. So Kobe Grigsby stepping up once again for that catch. Talked about him, 8 catches a week ago for this Mustangs team.
Great job there by him as we'll see 2 in the backfield here.
3rd and 4. Hand off to Crockett. He's met at the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to go. And that's going to force Lipscomb Academy the punt. As Manoa Crockett just really not able to find a hole at any point, and that's going to bring out Tyler Guinness to boot this one away for Lipscomb Academy. So a 3 and out for the Mustangs, not what they wanted to see after Ravenwood went down the field and got 7.
And not the best showing from the offensive line there on that 3rd down, but certainly a great improvement from what we saw last week. And that right there is just a little blocking mistake, something that's really easy to fix and look back at.
So Guinness boots this one away, nearly got a tip on it. Masias going to call a fair catch. Nice hang time there from Guinness. As that ball will be brought down and marked officially at the 48-yard line of Ravenwood. And that is where Femi Babalola in this Raptors offense will start out. 14-7. Mustangs currently trail with 6:55 to play here in quarter number 3. It's been a defensive slugfest so far. Mustangs hoping to get one more stop at least here on this drive.
Yeah, and really do need a stop here if you are the Mustangs defense. Can't let this game get out of hand. It has been low scoring so far, but that can always change with just a couple mistakes.
Pitch out there from the Raptors. That's
Big
Taylor
hit.
Vaughn who got laid out on that play.
Z Crockett again with the hit. Man, oh man, what a thunderous
Z Crockett, he was all over the field defensively in that first half, racked up 6 tackles that led the Mustangs, and that one right there, maybe the most impressive of them all.
It's like the Black Panther suit that absorbs the energy. He was just letting it all back out as a running back.
As a stoppage of play, officials seeing something there to correct, and now they'll get things back rolling. 24 seconds to go on the play clock. Handoff.
Great
That's
cut.
rolling. Nice cut, as you mentioned, as he is wrapped up at the 39-yard line, tackled by Trip Naaman.
That was a tight gap to fit into, and he just slithered right through it. Found him a big gain.
Davis Dowland was quite productive for this Ravenwood team in the first half. 7 carries for 49 yards. Did have that one fumbled on the mishandled option play.
Ty Hathaway coming on.
1st and 10, ball in 39. Another
Good
handoff to
penetration.
Dowland. He's met behind the line of scrimmage. The first one there was Harris Fisher. Beck Woodside also there as well.
Those are 2 guys that have been showing up big here for this Mustangs defense this game and last game. Crucial to this team.
2nd and 12, a loss of 2 officially there for Ravenwood.
Caleb Grooms will come in.
Over halfway through this third quarter. Ravenwood in Mustangs territory, 2nd and 12. Babalola to the right side on the quarterback keeper.
He's got no space.
Juking, but wrapped up on the tackle. Trip Naaman once again was there. Jackson Whaley also in the vicinity. And another 3rd down and long coming up. Ravenwood have been able to convert on a few of these 3rd downs. You go back to the first half, they were 3 for 8. And that touchdown pass they had to Cy Longley was on a 3rd and long as well. Big down coming up here for the Mustangs defense to step up.
Big time. Big players.
Babalola scans the field, tries to throw a strike down the middle, but incomplete. On the coverage was Beck Woodside, intended for the wide-out Talon Vaughn.
There he is again, Beck Woodside with a big play there, halting this drive for the Raptors. See what they come out in. Looks like they will punt.
Second time today that we'll see Ravenwood boot this one away. Cam Blivens back to return this one for the Mustangs.
Gonna try to pin the Mustangs deep here. Very tedious task, especially when you're punting from the 40.
So Blivens waiting for it at around the 10-yard line. Ravenwood had a punt block last week against MRA, but that one is all the way into the end zone for a touchback. So Lipscomb Academy will get their offense back out onto the field on the 20-yard line. The defense steps up big. Can the offense reward them with a touchdown here on this second possession of the half?
I think they can. They just got to find the right combination and the right blockers. That offensive line, like I mentioned, little mistakes, easy to fix. If they can do that on this drive, I believe we can score.
We'll see what they can do. They'll start on the 20-yard line, 4:34 to go. We saw one possession go for a touchdown from the 20-yard line at the end of the first half. Mustangs going to hope for a similar success here. 3 wideouts to the left side, 1 to the right being Cam Blivens. It's Manoa Crockett in the backfield to the left of J.C. White. Play action. White looking left. White, little screen pass over to the receiver, Kobe Grigsby. Just catches it, goes to the ground. And they will mark him down at the 24.5-yard line.
It's a good little first down gain there. Just get the RPMs up, if you will, and get this thing moving.
Hudson Husak on the tackle for Ravenwood.
The gain is never going to be bad.
As we approach the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter. 2nd down and 6. Bunch formation here for the Mustangs. White to throw. Dropping back under the rest. Just a screen pass to Manoa Crockett. He is wrapped up. Matthew Anderson once again. The middle linebacker for Ravenwood on that play. Disrupts it. A loss of 1 for the Mustangs.
Great ability there from Matthews to just hug the offensive player, Manoa Crockett, and get him down. Again, not an easy person to take down. Crockett is.
And we've talked about Z Crockett, and we've seen that toughness from him on the defensive side of the ball as well, playing some linebacker this season, has been a staple in the backfield for the Mustangs over the last couple of years. As a 3rd down and 7 from the 23. White looks to his left, scrambling. He wants it all, dialing it up in the direction of Grigsby, but nobody home. Falls incomplete. And it'll be a 3 and out for Lipscomb Academy as Tyler Guinness and the special teams unit will come out to punt.
There are just some more little mistakes. Got to get those receivers open a little quicker. Get that forward movement. Guinness back out.
3rd punt of the day for Guinness. Punted 5 times against Macaulay last week and was quite impressive, as long as going for 47 yards. Back to return it is Macias once again. Guinness boots it. Nice job getting it over the front lines of Ravenwood.
Another great roll.
Still rolling too. So around the 35, it's still going, and it will land softly at the 33-yard line. Tyler Guinness once again. That ball started out on the Lipscomb Academy 23 and goes all the way to the Ravenwood 33. Tyler Guinness flipping the field for Lipscomb Academy.
Gotta love it from Guinness there. I mean, that ability to flip the field as a punter is not easily found, especially in high school. Something like that to do consistently is very rare.
So the Ravenwood offense back out into the field, trips to the right side, 1 receiver to the left. Babalola, quick pass, but not able to hold on to it was the tight end, Charles Vlock. Frustrated with himself there for it too.
And Vlock, that's just a case of trying to run before you catch the ball. Coaches are going to get on to him about that. Make sure you have the ball. Possession is what matters more than yards after the catch, because you can't do one before the other. Here we go.
2nd and 10. Babalola, the handoff, met at the line of scrimmage. They're wrestling down there for that ball. The Mustangs are trying to get that fumble. Not able to do so as Caden Pace was met at the line. And it was Z Crockett once again there to make that play. A little running back on running back crime. So a loss of 1 officially. 3rd down and 11 coming up from the 32-yard line.
Z Crockett looks like he's playing full-time defense right now this game. He's got his little brother playing running back on the other side of the ball.
Ravenwood so far 4 for 10 on 3rd down conversions tonight. Oh, it's a mishandled snap for Babalola. He's wrapped up and brought down for the sack. It's Harris Fisher on the play.
Wanted a horse collar tackle, not going to get it. He's just caught completely off guard by the snap there. There is a flag on the far side of the field, I think.
And you did mention that Babalola wanted a horse collar. That was pretty far out towards the Ravenwood sideline. It looks like it's going to go against Ravenwood as they're still walking back.
4th down.
A loss of 16 officially on that play. And Ravenwood going to be forced to punt this one away.
Great opportunity here for the Mustangs.
That is the first sack of the season for the Mustangs, and it's Harris Fisher, the junior linebacker, that records it for the Mustangs. As Cam Blivens set to return this punt, Jack Henderson, the senior, to punt this away. Ravenwood had a punt blocked a week ago. That one gets off cleanly.
The high one.
Bounces at the 40, still going. It hops its way out of bounds. We'll see where they will spot this one. It'll be around the range of about the 32 to 33-yard line.
Intelligent decision there by the Ravenwood punter, not allowing Blivens to return that.
So we got 1:16 to go here in quarter number 3. 14-7 your score. Once again, we're celebrating the 1967 through 1970 classes of David Lipscomb High School, the football program, football team specifically. We've seen a little throwback football so far today, Gideon. These two teams getting in the spirit of things, to say the least.
I'd say so. So it looks like Brett Morris is out there in this formation.
That's interesting. The linebacker on the defensive side of the ball getting some snaps here offensively. First play of the new possession for the Mustangs, a handoff to Manoa Crockett, trying to aid his way towards some blocking, and does get a few yards on that play. They mark him down at the 41, a gain of 3. And for the Mustangs, the big question, can they find a way to sustain an offensive drive here? In the first half, they were able to do that, but would kind of stall out once they got towards the red zone. And so far, in the second half, have not even been able to get in Ravenwood territory. They're not far off at the 41-yard line, just short of midfield. 2nd and 7. White hands off to Manoa Crockett again. Crockett with some space up the left side. Gets it towards midfield and will lock in a first down for Lipscomb Academy.
That's a great run. That's something you love to see. That signifies a good blocking by the offensive line and great running by the running back. As I mentioned, Brett Morris is in there, formerly played on the offensive line.
White, hand off to Manoa Crockett again, looks up the gut, but not a whole lot there for him. Gets about a yard on the carry. Manoa Crockett getting a lot of action in that backfield tonight, as it looks like we have a man slow to get up. That's one of the Mustangs' offensive linemen. 8 seconds to go here in this third quarter as play stops due to an injury. That's number 69, Jan Pitch.
His first season of eligibility this year.
Senior lineman plays both on the defensive and offensive side of the ball. Has been a big addition for this Mustangs team this season as they tend to him. Once again, 8 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 2nd and 9 coming up, Mustangs in Ravenwood territory. We're going to take a short break, and while they tend to Jan Pitch, we'll be right back after a few moments.
Hey, I'm Tav Schaefer. I do Endeavor during 5th, 6th, and 7th periods of the day. And during my Endeavor time, I'm able to get a lot more of my schoolwork done. And I'm also able to get adjusted to a college-like schedule.
Hi, I'm Lauren Lovelace. I'm currently a junior at Lipscomb Academy. I use my Endeavor period to extend my work hours at Royal Rabbit, which is a clothing store. Endeavor has helped me tremendously with getting more experiences with work and just has been a positive influence in my life.
We are back as Jan Pitch was helped off the field by the Lipscomb Academy medical staff. We hope he's all right as he gets checked up on over on the sideline. 3 seconds to go. We'll see if the Mustangs decide they want to snap this. They weren't able to get it off in time, as that will do it for the third quarter of play. Ravenwood got on the board on their first possession. A passing touchdown from Femi Babalola to Cy Longley makes it 14-7, but the Mustangs moving their way on down the field as we start the fourth quarter. We're going to take a short break here as we get an interview going here down on the field.
I love this shoot section behind us.
Great. Oh, wait, hold up.
Okay, we are at the second home game for Ackerman today. See it like more improving on campus.
So a definite improvement was participation today in blackout. I would say almost everybody was wearing black today. It was awesome to see everybody participate in the dress that day, and I love when we all come together and do that.
I'm going to hand it over to Jack.
Hello, Dr. Ackerman. Is there anyone today for a blackout theme?
I did, yes, unfortunately.
A lot?
No.
Well, isn't that lovely?
It is lovely. Yes.
Isn't that lovely? How have you been enjoying the game so far?
I have been enjoying it. I like that it's a close game. I wish the scores were reversed, but I'm calling 21-14 in the end. Lipscomb's obviously.
Of course. Love a close game. Now, we have exactly 12 minutes left on the clock. Do you think we can come back?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Love out. Shout out Dr. Williams. He's going to be here next week.
And win or lose, no school on Monday.
Boom.
As J.C. White, a pitch in the middle of Crockett as we're back underway to start the fourth quarter. Gets those two around the line of scrimmage. And Gideon, I like that prediction. 21-14 in favor of the Mustangs. I'm for it.
Me too. That'd be very delightful here in the last 11 minutes and 40 seconds to see two end zone tries and successes here from this team and this Mustang offense.
She mentioned the blackout as well. Everyone on the Lipscomb Academy side of things decked out in black. A great crowd here on hand at the Reese Smith Athletic Complex. They've been treated to a good one. 3rd down and 9 coming up from Ravenwood's 49-yard line. 2 wideouts to the left side, 1 to the right. White, 3-step drop, looking, takes off and runs, tries to fire one. The Blivens. Was that intercepted? Oh my, yes it was. It was tipped and picked off.
Not the outcome.
That's Matt Anderson, the senior linebacker.
Not the outcome you want to see there. As a Mustang, maybe a little too eager to get that ball out for White. Unfortunate for the Mustangs. See what this defense can do.
The first turnover of the day from the Mustangs offense comes at a critical juncture, down by 7 in the fourth quarter. Still 11 minutes and 6 seconds to go, but Ravenwood with a chance to widen the gap here, and they have the ball in pretty solid field position. They'll start out on their own 46. A handoff to Dowd. He's wrapped up behind the line. That's Harris Fisher. Harris Fisher, he has been all over the field. We mentioned it earlier, the Week 1 Mustangs Player of the Week on the defensive side of the ball. Had a few tackles in the loss to McCauley a week ago. Racks up another there on that play, a loss of 1. Second and 11.
They're going to need some more of that.
Hand off to Caden Pace. He's met at the line of scrimmage again. The big man, Kobe Collins, was the first to get there.
Kobe Collins did have a birthday a couple days ago.
Had a birthday, as you mentioned. It looks like there's an injury, a Mustang down the field. That's Brett Morris, the senior linebacker.
Big impact player for the Mustangs, Brett Morris is.
As Morris hops on up, limping off the field, a little bit of help. Good to see him hop up.
Great to see.
So they'll help Brett Morris off the field. And it looks like we'll see Z Crockett come in once again here at linebacker for Lipscomb Academy as well. That's arguably the deepest position on the defensive side of the ball for this Lipscomb Academy team, is that linebacker spot. They have a lot of guys that have come in and stepped up so far for them early in the year.
So many great linebackers and such great rich history in their positions that they've played. They just know the game so well, and that is something beautiful to see at the linebacker position.
Brian Longwell, Chris Thompson, both SEC players now. You got many others as well. 3rd and 11 for Ravenwood. Babalola looking in trouble, just tosses one towards the right sideline. It is caught.
Not a first down.
By Cruz Kelly, but you said it there, Gideon, short of the first down marker. So Cruz Kelly, the senior wideout, with another reception. It's 4th down and 4. And Richard Rodriguez, so far, he's keeping his offense out on the field. This is a huge play. Biggest of the game so far. 4th and 4 in Lipscomb Academy territory at the 48-yard line. Babalol looking toward the sideline.
Get a man on Kelly down here.
5 seconds on the play clock. They snap it. It's a handoff to Payson. He stood up once again. The Mustangs defense, Johnny on the spot. It's Jackson Whaley there to make the play. Z Crockett on the money as well. It's a turnover on downs, and we've talked about the momentum switches. The Mustangs get one in their favor right there.
What a play by Whaley. Single-handedly taking the game into his own hands and saving this Mustang team. Now it's all up to J.C. White in this offense.
Jackson Whaley, he's a sophomore coming off that edge. One of the few starters late last season that is returning. Has 7 tackles, 5 of them being solo. Maybe the biggest one of his young varsity career right there. Mustangs take over on the 49-yard line near midfield. J.C. White hands it off. Manoa Crockett bounces off the man as Ravenwood finally able to contain him. He gets it past midfield for a gain of 2.
2-yard gain there from Manoa Crockett. As you see what I mentioned earlier, he's just almost impossible to take down. Fought through 3 or 4 guys there until they finally got him down.
Bunch formation here for the Mustangs. Nobody out wide. White fakes the handoff. White
pressure
evades a sack somehow almost, but keeping him around the ankles was Sam Rohan. There is a flag, however. It looked like somebody got a piece of White's face mask as White is laboring a little bit. Got caught in the ankle, holding his head a little bit. We'll see who this is on, but that looked like that's going to be a potential horse collar or face mask on Ravenwood. It was a lot of grabbing.
Rough tackle there. It will be on Ravenwood.
Face mask against the Raptors. That's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down for Lipscomb Academy. And that's huge. Sam Rohan was the one that initially got there. He terrorized offenses a season ago as a junior. 66 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, and 6 sacks. He was also an all-region selection a season ago. And he was really saying that it was title or bust for his Ravenwood team. Said it's time for us to step up big. It's been 10 years since we won a state championship, and this is our time to be there. But they're getting all they can handle from the Mustangs right now. And he finds them. Kleinite gets the reception, brought down at the 32-yard line. Mustangs move it forward for another first down. They're knocking on the door again.
Great job by the tight end there. Kleinite getting those nice gritty yards, moving the chains.
Jack Kleinite, the big tight end, getting that reception, and Lipscomb Academy trying to find their way to their first score of the second half. White scrambles left, looking, airs it towards Kleinite again, who took a big hit from the defensive back, Wyatt Appleton. Incomplete, second down coming up.
Appleton ruthless on that one. Ball was not in his mind when he made that hit.
Clock stops with 8:35 to play here in regulation. This is the first time that Ravenwood and Lipscomb Academy have played each other in an official football game, and these two teams so far tonight have not disappointed. Ravenwood up by 7 to the Mustangs, marching their way down the field looking to tie this game up. 2 wideouts to each side for White. Manoa Crockett still in the backfield. White to throw. Under duress. Heaves it towards the left sideline, and that's just going to fall harmlessly out of bounds.
Another 3rd and long coming.
And White is down on the field here. And he's getting some help up, but J.C. White, we saw him laboring a little bit a few plays ago after that face mask penalty on the would-be sack from Sam Rohan.
Yeah, and I'd say as a coach here, he needs to sit out this one, this play right here. See how he's doing.
And J.C. White, he is a gutty quarterback. You see, he's still out there. He's trying to tough through.
He is. And he will.
Well, we heard it from Coach Buck Dozier as well. This game will demand a lot out of you who will push a kid or a man to his limits. J.C. White going through it right now. 3rd and 10. White to throw. Finds Blivens towards the middle of the field. He's brought down at the 18-yard line. A strike from White. A 15-yard play. And the Mustangs are back in red zone territory.
Blivens with the green gloves and the green hands reels that one in with a man on his back and shoves him off, gets an extra 5.
Cam Blivens, he wears a 7-Eleven logo on his back plate because he's always open, and he was on a big play for Lipscomb Academy there. Ball marked at the 17-yard line, 1st down and 10 coming up. Hand off to Manoa Crockett. Crockett evades another tackler. Danny Brown trying to bring him down. They push him backwards as he's out of bounds. We'll see where they officially mark him. Forward progress should take him at around the 12 or 13-yard line. It looks like that is where they will spot him.
He didn't go down on that play at all. He was still up and running when Danny Brown was on him.
Make it the 14-yard line. So 2nd and 7 coming up, approaching 7.5 minutes. 15 seconds to go on the play clock for the Mustangs. Blivens, lone man out to the right side. Fakes the handoff, looking for Blivens. That's intercepted! There's a flag on the field, however. Wyatt Appleton with the pick, but does it stand? It was right by the throw.
What's the call here?
This is an enormous call. It is in the secondary. Officials are discussing. It is a holding
on the defense, I believe.
Against Ravenwood, no interception. And if you heard of a gust of wind in the background, now it's a collective sigh of relief on the Lipscomb Academy side. A huge break for the Mustangs. A holding penalty negates the Wyatt Appleton interception. So J.C. White not only going to avoid the interception, but it's now 1st and goal from the 6-yard line.
And this is big, and I was looking at that, and I saw that interception, and I was like, surprised. I was very surprised at the fact that Cam Blivens had lost positioning on his DB. That never happens, and I was right. There was a penalty on that play. 1st and goal for the Mustangs.
1st and goal from the 6-yard line. Manoa Crockett still in the backfield with White. They hand it off to him. Manoa Crockett scampers his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Lipscomb Academy. It runs through the bloodline in the Crockett family from Z to Manoa. And little brother finds the end zone for the first time in his varsity career.
First of many, Brandon. What a run. He just shimmied right through that offensive line. Great job by them. And just punches through that goal line and through those defenders.
14-13 your score, and a Tyler Guinness extra point away from knotting things up as Guinness nails it right down the middle.
What an exciting game we have here. This one is truly going to come down to it. Brendan, who do you think is one player that is going to be the difference maker in this game? Who is going to be there for the Mustangs or for the Raptors and make the difference in this game?
I mean, I think you've got to look at Cam Blivens on the side of the Mustangs, right? He has been steady and reliable for this team. Whenever they need a big play, he seems to always be able to step up on the offensive side of the ball. While on the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to throw out a different name. We just saw his brother score. Let's go with Z Crockett on the defensive side of the ball. Manoa's taken over the backfield a little bit here so far tonight. Z Crockett has stepped up at that linebacker position and has stood out. Look out for him to potentially make a play, recovered a fumble earlier in this game as well. I'm going to ask you the same thing, Gideon. What do you got for the Mustangs? Who are your players to watch out for as we hit the home stretch?
I'm going to say Grigsby. I mean,
I like it.
Like I said pregame, when he's on the field, he's doing something either behind the scenes or he's catching a ball. And I think really to embody that presence of the young players on this Mustang team, somebody like him could step up, make a big play, and win this game for the Mustangs.
Caden Pace and Cy Longley back to returning for Ravenwood. Tyler Guinness kicks this one off. Caden Pace will return this from the 5-yard line. Up the left side. Pace has room. Pace has speed, and he's tripped up at the 44 of Lipscomb Academy. And that is where Femi Babalola in the offense will set things up with 7:01 to play here in the fourth quarter. And I'm looking around that Mustang sideline. They are juiced up. They're fired up. They feel that momentum. Do they have it at the right time, and can they capitalize here?
This Ravenwood offense really trying to find a way through this defensive line. They've done it a couple times, but that's been their main problem in this one.
Babalola, a handoff to Davis Dowland. Dowland has speed, gets a little bit past midfield. He's brought down by Eli Mast, the junior defensive back for Lipscomb Academy. And that was actually Z Crockett that was there as well. Just spoke him up, and there he is.
Z Crockett, of course, right here.
Handoff again to Dowland, this time up the gut. He's met right around the line of scrimmage. Multiple purple jerseys were there. Ty Hathaway was the first one that got to him.
Ty Hathaway, we've seen him on the offensive line today. Also working both sides of the ball. There's a flag right there on the field.
It's right by the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be interesting to see where it was. I was near the point of the tackle. Officials discussing. And it's going to go against Lipscomb Academy, and that's also going to give Ravenwood a first down. So from a 3rd down and 4 to a Mustangs penalty that's going to give Ravenwood a free 15 yards and a first down. That is a huge call.
Definitely a huge call, and now almost on the edge of the red zone. This Ravenwood team is.
And this is close to Carlos Guerra territory. He's been known to have quite the leg as it's a quick handoff here. This is Maverick Chance, I believe, who gets that handoff. Indeed, it is Chance. We've only seen him a couple of times tonight. 2 rushes, 19 yards, and a touchdown. All of that work in the first half. Ty Hathaway with another tackle.
Mentioned this to you pregame. I actually went to elementary school with Maverick Chance. He was a good friend of mine, and he's been playing football for a long time, brought his helmet to a skit in like 2nd grade.
He gets the handoff, trying to use his blockers. He's still pushing forward. And wrapped up near that first down marker. He does get it. First down Raptors. Talk about Maverick Chance. He's a Navy commit as well, so hey, he called the shot early.
Tough guy. Tough guy. Navy is a great school, and I wish him the best there. He's a great football player as well.
As he checks out, a handoff this time to Caden Pace. Puts on a few moves. He's still going and is wrestled down at the 15. Ravenwood, after that penalty against the Mustangs, have all of a sudden found their rhythm through the ground. Penalties hampered the Mustangs a week ago. 128 yards in penalties last week against McCauley. As we get a whistle with 5 minutes to go, 2nd down and 1 will be coming up. And Jamie Graham is going to call a timeout. The first of the half, 2 remaining for them. Ravenwood with all 3. 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Ravenwood knocking on the door. They have it on the 15-yard line and in the red zone. This next 5 minutes, Gideon, it's going to be really interesting to see. We've seen the Mustangs defense step up a couple of times in this situation. We've also seen Ravenwood step up at the end of the first half in the same scenario. Who steps up and makes the big play in the clutch? That's what both of these two coaches have got to be asking their players. Who wants this moment and who's going to seize it?
I think this one's going to come down to who has the ball and how much time they're going to hold it for. If Ravenwood scores quickly here, I mean, you're talking 4.5 to 4 minutes with the ball for this Mustang offense, and Ravenwood gets another possession most likely after that to end out the game. So it's most likely going to come down to this defense, or they could just stop them right here, and we could reverse that situation.
Yeah, both of these teams, they're running out of possessions. We know the Mustangs will see the ball at least one more time, but there's no guarantee Ravenwood gets another crack at this. So they're going to look for the end zone. It's a running back or run play to Caden Pace, the halfback, is he gets a few yards on that, enough for the first down. They'll mark him down officially at the 12-yard line. Jackson Whaley, the one with the tackle for the Lipscomb Academy Mustangs.
And I haven't seen Cruz Kelly out there this drive. Don't know where he's at. Certainly benefiting the Mustangs that he's not there.
Another run to Pace. Goes up the left side. Not a whole lot of room for him. As
there's a flag on the field.
Yeah, right over by the 16-yard line.
Called right after the play ended.
That was Ty Hathaway again on the tackle. It's behind the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. If it's against Ravenwood, that'll push them back a good bit. And it is going to go against Ravenwood. Unnecessary roughness against the Raptors. So that's going to push them back a good bit of yardage. That's a big call.
At this point in the game, at this time with this score, that is a huge penalty to take as a Raptor. You move out of the red zone. You were on the single-digit yard lines, and now you're almost at the 30.
And even bigger, it's a loss of down as well. It is 2nd and 25 from the 27-yard line. They're going to hand this one off to Dallin. Gets a nice run past the 20-yard line and met at the 18, so a gain of about 9. But get in, you were saying it there. This is why that's such a significant penalty. You lose the 15 yards, but you also lose the down. Now it's 3rd and 16 when you could be looking potentially at a 1st and goal.
Exactly, and with that, the possibility of moving the chains being on about the 2 or 3 yard line, I mean, it's in zone or bust here.
Biggest play of the night so far, but that will certainly be surpassed as we continue to go along. 3:31 the play in the 4th quarter. We are tied at 14. 3rd and long. Babalola airs one out, nearly intercepted. Could not hold on to it, but it's an incomplete pass.
It is.
Z. Crockett once again on the play defensively.
You almost called it there. That could have been the game changer, the climax of this game. Z. Crockett just popped off of his hands, and that's why he plays running back.
So we're going to get a field goal coming up here for Ravenwood. It's from 35 yards out.
Interesting call here for Ravenwood.
The Lipscomb Academy Mustangs blocked one last week from this range. It was around the left edge. Can they strike some more magic? Kick us up. It's away. And it is no good. Officials discussing. No, it's no good. He missed it just a little to the right.
Oh my
The
goodness.
defense was on it before everyone else. And we remain tied with 3:21 to play.
This 3:21. So much time on offense here for any points for this Mustang offense. All you need here is just a long drive, milk that clock, get a little field goal, leave maybe 20, 30 seconds left on the clock. You'll be golden.
And for that 10 seconds, for those that aren't here at the stadium with us, you could have cut through with a knife. Mustangs celebrating, went right over that right pylon. Fans are kind of waiting to see whether to celebrate. The two officials over by the goalpost kind of looking at each other. At the same time, they say no good. We are remaining at 14. The Mustangs have possession. They'll start out the 20-yard line. It's a handoff to Manoa Crockett. He pushes his way forward for a nice gain right around the 25-yard line.
That's a great little 5-yard run there from Manoa Crockett. And that clock's just going to run.
Ravenwood has all 3 timeouts. Lipscomb Academy has 2 of their 3. And as you mentioned, Lipscomb Academy, less than 3 minutes remaining. If they play their cards right, they could very well have the last possession of this ball game here. But can they take advantage of it? J.C. White Fakes the handoff, throws to Blivens down the middle of the field. He has the first down and a little more, and he's met at the 38-yard line. There is a flag, as you mentioned.
Great job floating that pass right around the lineman's hands from J.C. White. See what the call is.
It's at the 31-yard line. So well past the line of scrimmage. Could there potentially be a hold here? We've seen some critical calls here late in this game. It's going to go against the Mustangs.
And that's a tough one to take here in this situation. That's going to move
an eligible receiver downfield.
Wow. It's going to move you back to where you started here. Keep it down.
2nd and 10 coming up. They move back 5 yards, but that negates a huge gain from Cam Blivens. We've seen penalties kill a couple of drives tonight for both the Mustangs and the Raptors. None bigger than that on that last play, or on that last possession, rather.
Spencer's out there instead of Fowler.
White hands it off to Manoa Crockett. He is met at the line of scrimmage. Danny Brown was there. Anderson was there. And the first one that met him was Peyton Husak. And we've talked about it all night, Gideon. Momentum from a first down at around the 40-yard line to a huge 3rd and 9 approaching the 2-minute mark.
This is the ball game right here. No doubt need to punt this away if it doesn't work out.
3 wiles to the left side. White gets the low snap,
Heavy
under pressure and takes off. Looking downfield, fakes the throw. White gets to the first down.
What a play.
Code 0 is dialed up for Jamie Graham. He takes off, does it himself, moves the chains. 1:46 to play, and the Mustangs are still in business.
It amazes me every time, the speed and explosivity from J.C. White out of the pocket. I mean, it looked like he was gobbled up back there, and he just runs.
Trips to the left side. White lost the snap, but he gets it off the ground. Screen pass Manoa Crockett, but air mails it over him, falls incomplete. Could have been a lot worse there for the Mustangs.
Great job picking that one up off the low snap. Second low snap in a row, by the way. And that one just floated over the head of Manoa Crockett.
And that's something to remember, those back-to-back low snaps. You have to remember, this is a young Mustangs team, 42 underclassmen. They're playing a Ravenwood team, state semifinalists, 13-1 a season ago, 42 seniors on that roster, and the Mustangs have a chance to knock off this Raptors squad. Can they live up to the moment? 1:26 to play, 2nd and 10. White thinking deep to Blivens. He almost grabbed it, but Jalen Pollard broke it up.
Glimpses of that NFL father coming out of him. Blivens, though, almost bring that one in.
There's not a roof here, but it would have popped off if Blivens made that play. 3rd and 10 coming up from the 32. We talked about Jalen Pollard, Western Kentucky commit. Huge defensive play from him there.
Fowler coming in from Klein Eye.
Fowler, the speedy wideout, had a touchdown against McCauley in the 4th quarter a week ago as the play clock was down to 9. Officials stopped things. Wasn't a timeout for the Mustangs.
4 wideouts. Or 3.
3 to the right. Cam Blivens, lone man to the left. 3rd and 10. White takes a snap, airing it for Blivens once again. He catches it, and he survives the hit! Oh, Cam Blivens, you son of a gun!
No way! Cam Blivens, what a catch!
Same play, same man. Look at the hit from Pollard. Dad would have been proud of that one, but he couldn't break it up from Cam Blivens. First down, Mustangs in Ravenwood territory.
Just
ball
like
on the 47.
foam.
White back to throw. White evades the sack, scrambles right, scans the field, tosses it out of bounds, safe to the Ravenwood sideline. Clock stops with 58 seconds to go.
I do not know how you get back up after that hit. After it's just like right after you get hit like that. That was. He blew him up. Nonetheless, hang on to the ball. Are you kidding me?
We've mentioned the relation between Jalen Pollard and his dad, Bernard Pollard. Bernard Pollard, they called him the bone crusher at Purdue. Jalen thinks he hits harder than Bernard. Bernard was probably proud of that one, but could not get it out of Cam Blivens. What a play from the senior wideout. 58 seconds to play, 2nd and 10. White to throw, looking, waiting, in trouble, keeps on his feet somehow.
Way.
White with time, airs this one to the sideline once again, incomplete with 48 seconds to play. 3rd and 10 now coming up.
Mustangs here still with 2 timeouts. 3rd and 10, you need to get in a field goal range here. If not, you can try to pin them deep. I'm sure Tyler Guinness can pull something off.
It would be 64 yards from here, so you got to feel like you're out of field goal range right now.
Of course, yeah.
Lipscomb Academy with 2 timeouts remaining. Ravenwood with all 3. 12 seconds to go on the play clock, and the Mustangs aren't even at the line of scrimmage, and Jamie Graham going to use one of those 2 remaining timeouts here to talk things over. Well, folks, if you're just now joining us, you came at the right time. We've got a dandy here between Ravenwood and Lipscomb Academy. If you're just now joining us, don't worry, we'll set the table for you. This game has been back and forth all night long, a defensive slugfest. Big play after big play, but not in the way you think. Not big shots, not long, deep passes or explosive kickoff returns. We've seen sacks, interceptions. We've seen huge hits. We've seen thunderous runs. And in an old school game that is honoring the past, 1967 to 1970, we are seeing a throwback game here between 2 of the top programs in Nashville.
Yes, we are, and this will be a photo finish. 48 seconds left. Almost in field goal range, about 15, 20 yards out. This is going to be one heck of a play, whatever happens on it.
You look back at the scoring, Ravenwood kicked things off in the 2nd quarter with a 19-yard touchdown run from Maverick Chance. That was followed up by a Cam Blivens receiving touchdown with no time to go in the 2nd quarter. Ravenwood then responded in the 3rd quarter with a touchdown on their first drive. Sty Longley with a touchdown reception, and as we saw earlier in the 4th quarter, Manoa Crockett with a touchdown run. The Mustangs have not led yet tonight. They're looking to lead it when it matters most. 3rd and 10. White. Play action, in trouble. White is sacked on the play. Matt Anderson, the senior linebacker. And Richard Rodriguez will stop the clock at 39 seconds. Lipscomb Academy forced to punt. And he's going to give his senior quarterback, Semi Babalola, a chance, more than likely, to drive down the field and try to win this game.
If you're Tyler Guinness here, you need this punt to get pinned deep and really to not make this one returnable. Just get it around maybe 30 to 25. Get it out of bounds. Give this defense a chance here to stop them with 39 seconds left.
We've talked about Matt Anderson all night, the senior linebacker, 2-time All-Region selection. He steps up at a critical juncture in this game, sacks J.C. White, and they're going to put a few more seconds on the clock, bumped up to 42 seconds now. In this game and in this situation, that is huge. 4 extra seconds here for the Raptors potentially to work with. Tyler Guinness will come out to punt this one away for the Mustangs. And it will be Gavin Macias, the junior wide receiver, back to return it for Ravenwood. And you gotta feel like blocking is the critical word right now for Lipscomb Academy. They've had a couple of close calls.
Here we go. It all relies on Tyler Guinness now.
It's 4th and 23 officially. Ball is on the Lipscomb Academy 40. Remember, Ravenwood missed a field goal on their last possession. And that's Guinness, plenty of room, boots this one away. Macias going to let this one go. Takes a nice bounce past the 20. And Tyler Guinness is going to stop Ravenwood at the 15-yard line, and 12 seconds clicked off that clock as well.
And it's exactly what the Mustangs needed here in that situation. Can't do much better than that. It all relies on Trip Naaman in this defense.
30 seconds to go. Tied at 14, the senior quarterback. The Boston College commit, Femi Babalola, he talked about his favorite aspect of being a quarterback in an interview with the Tennessean. He said, I feel like the leadership role of being able to lead my team in close game situations and them being able to look at me and have confidence in me is one of my favorite parts. Can he repay that confidence here with the game on the line?
We're going deep.
He looks towards his receiver at the left sideline. He found him. That was Jarrett Peterson. He only got a few yards, however, and 6 seconds clicked off the clock. Marked down officially at the 20. A 5-yard gain for Peterson and a timeout for Ravenwood.
They have 24 seconds and about 50 yards to go. This is coming down to it, as we expected here. Brandon, what's going on in this Mustang huddle here? What are the coaches telling these kids?
I think the biggest thing is don't let anyone behind you. The Mustangs have the field to their advantage. Ravenwood with just one timeout. You just can't allow the big play, right? You just got to keep everyone in front of you. Well, for Ravenwood, you kind of have to look for that deep shot, but the last thing you want is a turnover in what would be field goal range for Tyler Guinness and the Mustangs offense.
I agree. Keep these plays inside 10 to 15 yards.
2 wideouts to each side for Ravenwood. Babalola looking to the middle of the field, has a man and it's caught! He's still on his feet! That is the wideout Tyler Vaughn! 14 seconds to go!
Still not in field goal range.
He's down at the 50-yard line. And a timeout going to be called here by Ravenwood. Trip Naaman on the tackle, but that's a 30-yard play from Femi Babalola to Tyler Vaughn, the 2 seniors on this senior-led Ravenwood squad step up.
Yes, they do, and we see triple 14s on the clock here. We're going to probably look towards that penetration and early pressure here by this defense to really throw Babalola off of his game and really get him to throw those bad throws that we saw at the end of the first half. Again, Trip Naaman gonna be somebody crucial on these next few plays. He's the anchor of this secondary. Cam Blivens out there too.
No timeouts now remaining for Ravenwood, so something to keep in mind. They have got to get out of bounds or operate quickly. Ball on the 50. They're about 20 yards away from field goal range. Babalola looking deep. Airs it towards the sideline. He gets the first down.
He is not
That was Jarrett
out of
Peterson.
bounds. He's not out of bounds.
Well, they're keeping the clock stopped for now because they have to spot the ball. There's 7 seconds to go, however. Unless he stepped out. 6 seconds, clock rolling, 5 now, and it's spiked by Babalola. 3 seconds to play, ball on the 40-yard line.
3 seconds. You gotta kick the field goal here. This is gonna be a long one at that. They might just choose to take the shot here.
It would be 57 yards from here.
Looks like they're gonna kick it.
Carlos Guerra is the kicker. He missed on his lone attempt earlier. Scouting reports say he has a range of about 55 yards.
We're 2 yards outside
This would
of
be
that.
57 from the left hash, and Cam Blivens is back in the end zone. He missed his one today. He was 2 for 2 last week, both for 31 yards as Jamie Graham iced the kicker. He's trying to call a timeout. Officials don't see it. This is for the win. And the officials do spot it finally as Jamie Graham, he was jumping up and down, trying to get that timeout called.
Definitely needs to be an official over there on that sideline. Could have been drastically different there. That timeout wasn't called.
So Carlos Guerra, after missing one just a few moments ago, gonna have to think about this one for a little bit longer. As we mentioned, Carlos Guerra, committed to Austin P, rated a 4.5-star recruit by Coles Kicking. And according to an evaluation done by Chris Saylor Kicking, he has a strong leg that has around a 55-yard range. This is from 57. It's from the left hash. His missed kick earlier was a little bit pushed to the right. Wind is not blowing whatsoever outside, so this is a straight shot for Guerra.
Stable Gang is loud.
And keep in mind, the Mustangs blocked a field goal last week. For the win, for overtime, or a potential kick six for Blivens. The holder is Brooks Brown.
Here we go.
Kick is up.
It's not there.
It's not going to go. Blivens is going to return this. Cam Blivens going up to the right side. Cam Blivens puts on a move. He's still on his feet. Cam Blivens reverses upfield.
He's got space.
Cam Blivens has a few blockers. Cam Blivens still up.
Still
Cam
up.
Blivens is tripped up at the 45, and if he gets past Big 71 in Lucas Hughes, we may have seen the miracle of all miracles take place. Alabama-Auburn 2013 style. But you know what? We've got overtime, extra football here in Nashville. How about that?
And we do have a man down on the field.
And who is that? Let's see. That's right around where the tackle
Might
was.
be Blivens.
That is Cam Blivens. He did a lot of running down there in all fairness,
did.
so it might potentially be some cramping as they are working on him. Doesn't look to be anything too serious. He's getting some water, getting worked on.
Yeah, he
But
did.
folks, we have overtime, and for those who are not familiar, we'll run you through the overtime rules real quick. The TWSAA football overtime rules require a coin toss, after which both teams get one possession starting from the opposing team's 10-yard line with the option for a 1-point or 2-point conversion following the touchdown. If the score remains tied after the first possessions, the process repeats, but with the team that was on offense first, now on defense, and vice versa. There are no timeouts during overtime, and the game ends when one team scores more points than the other after both have had a possession.
Man, and what does this say about this Lipscomb team? Are you kidding me? All these underclassmen, and they're competing right now with 42 seniors. Basically adult men on the other side of the field right now. And these young guys, these young Christian men are playing a great football game.
We are going to overtime. Cam Blivens is up. Didn't need any help as he got up. Great sign to see. The last time the Mustangs were in overtime, you got to go back to 2023. It was a 31-30 loss in Alabama against Saraland. The last time Ravenwood was in overtime, you got to go back to last season, October 25th, a 32-31 win over Oakland. So these are two teams that are familiar with this situation, but how about this Mustangs team? Young, littered with underclassmen, going up against one of the top teams in the state in Ravenwood, a potential state championship favorite. They're going toe-to-toe with them. They're pushing them to overtime and have a chance to win this one.
Yeah, this is going to be some entertaining overtime. We see the captains out there. They're just one captain per team getting that coin flip.
It's J.C. White for the Mustangs representing them. This is going to be interesting. Ravenwood does get the choice in terms of what they want for the coin toss, heads or tails. Lipscomb Academy won the toss at the beginning of this game. I'm sure they wouldn't be mad if they got one more luck of the coin here. Well, the class of 1967 through 1970, they've been treated to a good one so far here tonight. Some throwback football, an exciting contest, overtime, and the Mustangs with the opportunity to knock off the Ravenwood Raptors, who last season were undefeated up until losing in the semifinals in the 6A region to Houston.
Two great programs here, and I'm sure we're going to have some great overtime.
So both teams break. We'll get the official word on who's going to get the ball first. We will go at the right side of the field. There is no running clock during overtime, so it was just straight up possessions. a play clock, and 1 timeout for each side. And the Mustangs will start out on offense first. Both teams have been stood up a few times in this and goal situation tonight, and that's essentially what these are, and goal scenarios for these two offenses, so the defenses have to feel like they have the leg up, but the last time the Mustangs had it, Manoa Crockett found his way into the end zone.
Right, no first downs, just 4 downs, and see what happens here. Mustang team still huddling. Looks like they're going to head out now. 3 wide receivers out there, 1 tight end, 1 running back.
Manoa Crockett is that running back out there for the Mustangs. Cam Blivens is out there as well in that bunch set, along with Kobe Grigsby at that left side. That is huge news there for Lipscomb Academy. First and goal, first play of overtime, number 1. Grigsby gets the pitch out option. Trying to evade a tackle, but he is stopped at the 15-yard line. The first man on the scene was Sawyer Akers, the defensive back.
Good motion there by Grigsby. I like the idea. Not able to find the edge there. Unfortunate. We move on to second down.
Wyatt Appleton also there. Now remember, you can go for the field goals in this situation. You're not in a situation where it's touchdown or bust necessarily, but obviously that puts a lot of pressure on your defense. Second and goal from the 14.
Cam Blivens one-on-one.
To the left side. White looking his direction, strikes one back left, end zone, caught it! Did he survive the ground? Touchdown, Lipscomb Academy!
How did he do it again? Oh my gosh, Blivens. Houdini.
J.C. White finds Cam Blivens in his office, that back left corner of the end zone. And the Mustangs, for the first time tonight, lead 20-14. Huge extra point, however.
Huge.
You gotta make it. Tyler Guinness out to kick it. Clean snap, clean hold. And the extra point is good. 21-14 your score. 2 plays, 1 score, 1 man, Cam Blivens.
And you'd think they'd learn from last time. Cam Blivens one-on-one is a recipe for disaster for any defense.
And now the pressure shifts. Ravenwood offense, Lipscomb Academy defense. Which side prevails? Game on the line for Ravenwood. They've got 4 cracks to get this in the back of the end zone with an extra point converted. Can they do it? Or does the Mustangs defense send the Lipscomb Academy faithful home in a frenzy?
Looks like they'll take it on the left hash here. Harris is out there. Naaman's out there.
Maverick Chance in the backfield as well for Ravenwood.
Oh boy, Crockett's out there as well.
He's in the backfield next to Babalola. It's a bunch set. Babalola keeps it himself, runs right down the middle and into the end zone. He had an entourage and cleared the way. Touchdown, Raptors.
Still got the extra point to go.
And is Ravenwood potentially thinking 2 for the win, or do they go with the extra point?
Looks like they're going to go for the 1.
They will. Carlos Guerra. Or wait a minute, hold on. Babalola's still out there.
Oh.
I think Richard Rodriguez is thinking about this one.
Maybe a timeout here?
Ravenwood timeout. I think Richard Rodriguez might be contemplating going for the win here.
Certainly is tempting after that first overtime play from Babalola. Just ran straight up through. Not even a man to block for Maverick Chance there.
Richard Rodriguez said after the win over MRA last week, that's Madison Ridgeland Academy in Mississippi, he said, "We want to win up front. There's no better way to win up front than overtime, 2 yards to the end zone, and you can win it with a 2-point conversion." Does he roll the dice, or does he trust his kicker, Carlos Guerra, to push this to an extra overtime? And as of now, It looks like he's going to go for this.
Oh, boy. Almost a guaranteed run, you'd think, after the last play. Maverick Chance not out there.
Mustangs do have a timeout. It's Caden Pace in the backfield with Babalola. One play to decide it. 2 wideouts to each side. Ball is set over at the left hash.
Cruz is out there. Cruz Kelly, one-on-one Camp Livens.
Here we go. Man in motion. Babalola waiting. Gonna throw to the back of the end zone. It is caught! Taylon Vaughn wins it for Ravenwood! And the Raptors steal one out of the hands of the Mustangs.
Unfortunate there for the Mustangs. Ravenwood goes with the gamble, and it works out for them.
Stunned faces on our side of the field. Ravenwood students rushing on the other. A stunning result. Richard Rodriguez, I mean, you got to hand it to him. He rolls the dice, trusts his senior quarterback, Femi Babalola, in the clutch. They contained him on the run, but unfortunately, just a little too much time. Finds his receiver in Taylon Vaughn in the back of the end zone. Hits him at the back just like he did earlier in this game. And Ravenwood escapes with a 22-21 overtime win, gutting for Lipscomb Academy, who have played so well tonight through 4 quarters and more.
Definitely, and they're trying to get the Ravenwood students off the field here so they don't get fined. Too late for that, I think, but great game here tonight, played by both sides. A real nail-biter and something that we'll look back on for years to come.
This is a young Mustangs team. We talked about it earlier, over 40 underclassmen. This is going to be one of those results. I mean, we talked with Coach Buck Dozier earlier. You learn this is a classroom in itself, this football field. This is going to be one that sticks with this team for a long time. They're going to think about it a lot tonight. They're going to think about it throughout the weekend. They might think about it through certain points the rest of the year. But for a young team to go up against a Ravenwood squad with 42 seniors, semifinalists in the state a season ago, went 13-1, beat state semifinalists in Mississippi just a week ago, to take them to their very limits in an overtime, up in this game, chance to win it late. This Mustangs team, a lot to look forward to in the future. They should not hold their heads down by any stretch. A lot to be proud of here tonight. You see the show of respect from these two teams on the field right now as well.
I agree, and if we see the growth we saw from the McCallie game to this one, next week at Knox Catholic, we will not be casting that one, but that is the Mustangs' next game over in Knoxville. If we see more growth on that scale, then this team is going to be very good in the next couple of games.
The Mustangs drop to 0-2. They'll have a pair of games on the road back-to-back. You mentioned next week at Knox Catholic, and then they will have their first official in-district game in Memphis against Memphis University School. The next time you'll hear us, September 19th at 7 p.m., a game versus Ensworth. You can catch that right here at the Lipscomb Academy Football YouTube channel. Thank you all for joining us. An exciting contest. Fortunately, the Mustangs 1 point short, a 22-21 final. Ravenwood moves to 2-0. Mustangs fall to 0-2. My name is Brandon Bigsby. For my broadcast partner, Gideon Carter, and for everyone at Lipscomb Academy Broadcasting, we thank you all for spending your Friday night with us. We'll see you right back here on September 19th for the game versus Ensworth. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a blessed weekend, everybody.
Good night.